next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.
We're back. It's Crunch Time here on Woodward Sports. On a break, some breaking news today on a Wednesday. Jeff Iafrate, Booner, KG, Caleb Zarnick. We got a lot to discuss
yes, we do.
today.
Big
Massive
morning.
news in Detroit sports, and you guys have already seen the headlines, and we're going to talk a lot about it. Steve Yzerman, change in leadership for the Detroit Red Wings, and he is moving now to be a senior advisor to Governor and CEO Chris Ilitch, away from his prior role as the executive vice president and general manager. We've kind of maybe foreshadowed this day coming, discussed the possibility of it happening, but today it officially happened.
Wow.
And we got a lot to get into today.
We do. It's a big day. I think everyone's been waiting for something like this, whether it was the Larkin news or the Yzerman news. It was, hey, there's going to be some Red Wings breaking news at some point this offseason. It was kind of in a standstill battle. Who's going to break first? Is Yzerman going to trade Larkin? Is Larkin going to, hey, I'll stay? Whatever it was, they were in a battle. It was definitely a battle. Who was going to hold out? What was going to happen? Today, the battle ended. I would say that's fair to say.
Some would argue the battle was won.
Yeah,
right. Some would argue.
Larkin stood his ground, and you would have to say, as of right now,
I mean,
Larkin's winning the battle. I mean,
maybe.
No, you would have to
He's
think,
still
though.
going to probably leave the team.
No, yeah, but still, Larkin's winning the battle.
How about he won the battle? Maybe not the war.
Not the war, but the battle. He won the battle.
Nobody won the war.
He didn't want to be here.
It was a draw.
Right, we're ass out.
He was over. Dylan Larkin was
sucks.
done with the way Yzerman was doing things, and that was why this trade request kind of came into play, was because of that. And then as you kind of go further into it, and the offseason keeps going, it's, hey, is it either Yzerman or is it Larkin? And today it's Yzerman, and it might end up being both. But it was kind of the end of the line there for the Larkin side of things.
Yeah, there's a statement here. I'm going to read some quotes, kind of go into what exactly occurred for those who maybe don't know or haven't checked your phones. Here's what happened. So the Red Wings put out kind of a statement, and you actually mentioned this before the show. They just kind of dropped this thing into the Twitter sphere like no one was going to notice.
Yeah.
It was just like a statement about a leadership change. I mean, Steve Yzerman's out.
Yeah,
this is a massive
and honestly, too, it felt like it would have been something that like a reporter or someone big would have broke.
Yeah.
And I was literally, I'm not going to say where I was, but I was in a spot maybe in the bathroom here, and I'm sitting there, and I go, wait a second, I got an alert from the Red Wings.
Door. No,
not outside the door. I was in there, and I'm sitting there with the Red Wing, and I get an alert from the Red Wings Twitter, and it was just an article. Like, they didn't break. It was just a little article, like, hey, there's a little bit of leadership changes. Honestly, I thought it was they were changing who was the captain. So I thought they were announcing that Mo Sider was the captain. And when I click on it, all of a sudden, boom, it's Yzerman's out. So yeah, it's just, it's big.
Yeah, it is very. We were talking with Sean before when he was, he was in the back with us. He actually joined Woodward Wings, which you can go check out as well. Sean was on there and talking to Sean. He's a wealth of knowledge. He's on Big D Energy as well. You guys can check them out 8 to 10 every single morning. But it kind of reminds. And me and Sean were talking about this. It's basically the same thing that happened to Ken Holland. I mean, after Steve Yzerman was hired to be the GM, you had Holland that was promoted to be the senior vice president, acted as the senior advisor, and then went and took another job. So this is where Sean had the take, and I agree with them. And now we have I do want to at least at some point get to talk to Ryan, who's going to join our pod as well, Winged Reel pod. But it's kind of what's happening to Steve Yzerman as well, where it's in my opinion, a soft firing. That's what this feels like. It's like, hey, there's a relationship clearly between Chris Ilitch and Steve Yzerman. He was never going to get fired, quote unquote. But this is probably the way to do it, so it looks good from a PR perspective. He goes into the senior advisor role, steps down. The statement looks a lot better, but we can all agree, like this, how the Larkin stuff kind of ended and what's been going on. I think the exact quote from the actual statement, I want to read this because it's very important, kind of given the context. Ilitch said himself, clearly we are not where we and our fans expect to be as an organization. I'm looking forward to bringing new leadership to build the championship caliber organization Hockeytown deserves. So, like, again, soft firing. His role's changing, but let's be honest, it came down to where the Red Wings are right now as an organization. It just wasn't good enough.
I don't know, like, and this is, I guess, as we kind of go through the show today, we can all have this discussion if this is a full rebuild. It feels like it's going to be, and I don't know if I know there were a lot of fans that wanted a full rebuild here with the Wings, but there was a half of the fan base. I feel like that was still like, hey, you can carry on with Larkin, or you could trade Larkin for someone else that can come in and help. And that's where I think there's like kind of that middle ground of this situation, to where it's like, hey, what direction is the organization moving in? And if you were going to, I think the biggest argument was if you were going to go into a full rebuild, guess who you're not doing it with? You're not doing it with Steve Yzerman. You're not. Like,
no.
It's not going to
doing
be a
this thing again.
You're not giving him a third opportunity or to be able to kind of start from the bottom and build this thing back up. It's just at some point you need to have a little bit of change. And hey, as of right now, he's still in the organization, so he's going to have some sort of say and conversation within those meetings, I'm sure. Like Sean was saying on the morning show, he's probably, you would think that he's going to end up taking a job somewhere else because, you know, he wants to be a GM. When we were talking to Sean, you know, it's a guy who has been great his whole life, has won Stanley Cups everywhere he's been, and he wants to be great, and he doesn't want to, I'm sure Steve Yzerman doesn't want to go out the way he just did in Detroit. And he's going to want to go somewhere and build a team up and try and win a cup somewhere else. So that's kind of the thing you get into, whether or not, I guess over the next couple months, we're going to find a little bit more whether Yzerman really wants to do that or stay in Detroit and just have that kind of executive role and just oversee things.
Now, I see you over there, Justin. I mean, you sat down. You guys filmed Woodward Wings. I'll ask you, like, does this smell like Ken Holland a little bit? Is this what you foresee with Steve Yzerman, advisor, leaves eventually to be a GM?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't see any way how he stays in the organization and sits there and just is a lesser, like, especially with how the Red Wings seem to operate. They like to stay in-house and in the organization, so it seems like the unpopular opinion for me is that I would not like that, but they're going to do it. They're going to stay in the organization. The name that Sean threw out was Sean Horkoff, who is with the Grand Rapids Griffins right now. And my issue with that is essentially, like, he is, like, Steve Yzerman was a role model for him. And if Steve Yzerman is still in the building, how do the power dynamics change? How are we going to get to a better place where we're not just blindly listening to the Yzer plan? Because the Yzer plan has failed. It is over. Finito. And yes, Booner, it will be a full rebuild. That is where we're headed to.
I mean, it says in the article, or in the statement too, Yzerman will serve in an advisory capacity on the search committee for a new hockey operations leader. The search committee will also include Illich Sports and Entertainment President and CEO Ryan Gustafson, along with other leaders. So basically, Yzerman's going to help finding a replacement for Yzerman. That's what it sounds like, at least a part of it. But he's going to remain in the current role right now, facilitating day-to-day hockey operations and, you know, all the stuff they put out. Ensure a seamless transition.
By the way, Ray in the chat said the Booner path has outlived the Yzer plan.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
The longest running.
No one would have ever thought. Yeah. I have beat Steve Yzerman officially.
That's Booner 1, Steve Yzerman 0. That's what it looks like right now. But yeah, no, I guess I'll get your reaction to it, Justin, too. Like, Steve Yzerman, I mean, they put it out. We were laughing about it because it seemed like it was in some, like, the way they put it out on Twitter was kind of funny because it was like a subtle little statement they just put in the Twitter sphere real quick, and it was very, like, change in leadership. But it's, like, the massive freaking news. What's your reaction to this and maybe the Dylan Larkin involvement with all of this? Was that the kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, would you say?
I don't think so. Well, I mean, a piece of it is, but you have to think about it like this. Why now? Why after free agency has started and has been going on for over 10 days? Why after the draft? Like, why are we getting to all these important deadlines and milestones without knowing what we're doing for our GM next year? Like, that is where, like, I am confused because they were obviously shopping Larkin during the draft. They've been shopping Larkin during free agency. And what now? Because the most recent report that we have is about the Jason Robertson stuff and the fact that Dallas is willing to trade Jason Robertson for Dylan Larkin, but the money doesn't seem to match up. Is that the last thing that broke the camel's back, the unwilling to pay? Because that doesn't seem like an Yzerman problem to the core. It seems like a problem upstairs is paying people. So I think that this is a long time coming. I mean, Sean said it this morning. The Yzerman plan essentially did fail 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and they have been sitting in purgatory since, because the worst place to be in the NHL is purgatory, where they've been sitting for the last 3 years, right outside the playoffs, without being able to make that big move that gets you over the hump. And we were talking about it going into the season. You need to be creative. You finally have the ability to be creative with trading Dylan Larkin. And now we've done nothing with that, and I believe that the Ilitches made this move because what Steve Yzerman has showed you in Tampa is that he will wait as long as he has to wait to get Dylan the best package possible for Dylan Larkin. And I don't think ownership wanted to do that. I think ownership wants to be done with the situation. I think they're done with it being in the news cycle every single day with a new report and making the Red Wings look bad. I think that is now what worries me the most, Jeff, is that Steve Yzerman not running the negotiations. There's no guarantee we're going to get the best return possible for Dylan Larkin now. And that's
a fair
worries
take.
me.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I think the reason that and I think you're spot on when it comes to why now, because the draft just happened. Why did you let Steve Yzerman kind of go out there and basically be the head of the draft?
Made trades.
That is odd, yeah.
So,
Made
but
trades,
I think the
signed free
reason that
agents.
happens though, and it's that's not even just it's in every sport, is when you do see something like that happen, there obviously is something. If this is one of those connect the dots moments. There's something that happened with whether it was the Dylan Larkin stuff, that like you said, Justin, they might have had a trade package to get Jason Robertson, and Yzerman's just so hard-headed, and Chris Ilitch and them were that we wanted to get that done, and Yzerman's just foot down, no, we're not doing that. I'm not going to do it. And Chris Ilitch just gets to a point, it goes back to the trade deadline when you have the opportunity to go out there and get Quinn Hughes, I believe it was.
Yep.
And Yzerman's we're not going to do it because he's not willing to commit long-term. And he's still on contract for 2 years, and it's you could still make a move to push for the playoffs. And he was always so this is my thing with Yzerman. He was always so, in his mind, I think it was strategic, but it was too safe. He was making safe moves that were never going to get you there, where at some point throughout the Yzer plan, you had to make that jump and make the big moves. And he failed to always make those big moves. And it was a constant thing where it comes out in the media after, where it was oh, Quinn Hughes wanted to come to Detroit. He just didn't want to sign long-term. Well, if you get him here, you can convince him to sign long-term if you start winning.
He's from here,
yeah.
And that was the creativity that you should have been looking for. That was a golden opportunity to grab one of the best defensemen in the sport and to have two attractive Team USA pieces in Larkin and Quinn Hughes. You know what you could have done? You could have literally traded for anyone on that roster. Maybe Brady Tkachuk thinks twice about going to Florida because he could go play with two USA guys. I don't think that's possible, but it's just the fact that he wasn't willing to risk.
Yeah.
He had a potential for 2 years of Quinn Hughes. He would have given himself a 2-year window, which he got fired in that window anyway.
But even that 2-year window, you have 2 years to go out there and basically sell him to stay in Detroit. And if you are winning, he stays.
Exactly.
And then Jason Robertson, you have this situation in the last week or so where he fumbles that too if he has that opportunity. And it's because, I don't want to pay him. At some point, you have to stop making excuses and make the move. I think Chris Ilitch, at the end of the day, was I'm tired of this. Maybe I'll say it, maybe Dylan Larkin was right a little bit in the side of, hey, you're not making these moves to help us really fully win. And maybe Chris Ilitch was I'm starting to see the light a little bit. And maybe Dylan was a little right. And maybe we didn't need to even get to a point to where Dylan Larkin needed to even ask for a trade request because we could have had Quinn Hughes. Or we could, you know what I mean? You could make some of those moves. So maybe that's where it kind of opened up a little bit. I'll be honest, I'm interested to see where the Dylan Larkin thing goes now. Because connecting the dots, if this was before the draft, then I would say Dylan Larkin's out. But the fact that it was after, and then why after the draft, a week after, that makes me think that there still might be something with Chris Ilitch and Dylan Larkin to where there's hey, let's connect the dots there. Maybe Dylan ends up staying because Chris Ilitch chose Dylan Larkin over Steve Yzerman.
I have believed for the last couple weeks that Dylan Larkin is going to start the season playing for the Detroit Red Wings. Now, there is either going to be a reconciliation where they figure it out and they agree to something, and whoever this new GM is agrees to be aggressive, which I don't think is the right move. Personally, I don't think if a GM does get aggressive with Dylan Larkin staying, that it will make us a playoff team. I don't think that we can get into that stratosphere just by convincing Dylan Larkin to stay. With that being said, I now believe that there's either going to be a reconciliation or he is going to be traded as soon as possible before the season. There is no in between. And as we get closer and closer to the season, he will be suiting up. And there's no doubt in my mind about that.
I think that, and Jeff, tell me what you think on this. I think with Larkin and Yzerman, that was obviously they just didn't get along. And the report was for the last year plus that there was headbutting going on. I think this could have been that decision made at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think this is Chris Ilitch. It's been bad PR for the Red Wings. I mean, over the even with the Yzerman, there's been the two sides. I mean, you guys see Neil, and I love Neil, but you see how Neil stands with it all. KG's on the show; he knows how it is, and he holds Larkin accountable. There's
Steve
people that
Bott,
defend.
Steve Bott.
Yeah, there's Steve
What? Who
Botts.
said that?
There's Steve Botts. There's people that defend Steve Yzerman. There's people that go at Dylan Larkin, and the Red Wings have just been like. I mean, we're talking about an all-time franchise that has been just shit on over the last. I mean, been shit on, but over the last couple of months, especially with this Larkin stuff. So, it feels like it's a move by Chris Ilitch to kind of save face a little bit, like, hey, we have no choice but to do this. Also, kind of maintaining the relationship with Steve Yzerman because those guys go way back. But I do want to talk about that Quinn Hughes point because, like, we talk about being aggressive in sports a lot as a general manager, and I'm not saying be reckless. But I think the point you made, Justin, is very important because general manager, things change very quickly in sports. If you're GM, your time is not promised no matter who you are, okay? And I know Steve didn't technically get fired, but he's out as GM. Like, to your point, you not making the move, you refused to make a move in which you didn't even end up lasting as long as Quinn Hughes would have been here. So I think that's, like, the big thing is, like, man, at least, and we speak for all Detroit GMs when we say this, like, just pull the fucking trigger. Just pull the trigger. Be aggressive. Like, because at the end of the day, like, no matter who you are, clearly, even if you're Steve Yzerman, there's a point. There's eventually a point where you're not safe. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. And to be honest, like, it sucks because you're going to look for a new GM. You're going to go through the search. And then you're going to have another rebuild. You're going to have another. And look at all these decisions that have to be made, actually. Ryan tweeted this out, Ryan Hanna. But all the stuff that's looming right now. So you have the Larkin trade request, Edvinsson unsigned restricted free agent, no DeBrincat extension, and you obviously have the playoff drought. So this sucks. This absolutely sucks. So, yeah, you're probably heading towards a rebuild. I know you guys mentioned on Rover Wings I was tuning into, like, all the other pieces that could potentially be on the move as well. Like, this thing is not – okay, Steve Yzerman's out, check. This thing ain't getting better anytime soon.
Can I ask you guys – I want to go around the room. Just quick yes or no. Yes or no. Who was out? Were you out on Steve Yzerman? I just want to know who was out. Jeff, were you already out on Steve Yzerman?
Yeah, at this point, I was out. Yes.
Yes.
I was
KG, yes. Were you?
I can't give you a yes or
no.
no.
I need a yes or a no. It's just a yes or a no. Were you out on Yzerman?
Steve.
Was the Yzerman plan over for you?
I was not out on Yzerman.
You were not, Caleb? So
Can
everyone
I say
but
why,
Justin.
though? Can I say why?
No, because I want to bring up a point with this. I do, but a point with this is everyone's out, and if you go around the fan base, almost everyone will say, yes, I'm out on the Yzer plan. Guess who also was out on the Yzer plan? Dylan Larkin. Like, people are in here being like, he's a quitter, he's a quitter, he's a quitter. So all of us are quitters because we all were out on the Yzer plan. How do we not know just Dylan Larkin was in the same boat as all of us? Well, we're all sitting here like, hey, Yzer plan's taking too long. And I know Dylan is the captain and he was the number one. But, again, we talked about it like Dylan in his mind, what if he was like, hey, I'm not a 1A on this. Like, I'm not the dude on a Stanley Cup team. I know that. Like, I can't do it. I need help. I need to be the number two. He knew that. So, like, Dylan probably was in the boat of all of us, majority of Red Wings fans. He's like, I'm out on the Yzer plan too. And that's why he goes and requests a trade. And Chris Ilitch is like, we're out on the Yzer plan too. And that's where when you're like, hey, can they kind of remend kind of the bridges with Dylan Larkin and the Wings? This is the way to do it, is being like, hey, these two butted heads, Larkin might have just been in the same boat as all of us in this room, the 5 out of the 6 of us in this room. That was like, Yzer plan's long gone.
I hate to say it, but as a diehard Red Wings fan who, honestly, like, the Red Wings are my life, I don't get paid $8.7 million to play a sport and play for my hometown team and be the fucking captain. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I still have plenty of words for Dylan Larkin because when you wear the C in hockey, it's not like wearing the captain patch in the NFL or I don't even think there are captains in basketball. It's the only other sport where it's similar is in soccer, where it is a like you are wearing a crown. You are royalty in that city or to that fan base where it is on you. You are to lead the fan base. You are to lead the team, and you need to personify the uniform. And honestly, when you look at the captains of past, when you look at the Steve Yzerman's, funny as a player, not as a GM, but when you look at the Steve Yzerman as a player, when you look at Zetterberg, when you look at Lindstrom, these guys personified what it meant to be the captain of Hockeytown. And they, like, Lindstrom won his last Stanley Cup when he was 37 years old, still playing some of the best hockey in his life. Yzerman sat here in Detroit longer than Dylan Larkin did with the captaincy on, waiting for success, and he ultimately got it. And I'm not saying that Dylan Larkin would have gotten it, and I'm not saying that Dylan Larkin being traded is this end-all be-all of like his of the way that he is, like he shouldn't have left or he should have left. But at the end of the day, he is being paid $8.7 million to be royalty in this city, in his hometown, to play a fucking game. I would literally kill people to be in his shoes, allegedly. Okay? Like, I'm like dead serious. And like, I can't vibe with that. I'm sorry, Booner. As bad as the Yzer plan has been, he's the captain of the team. He's being paid $8.7 million, and he took the easy way out by requesting to go to 3 teams that don't need him to win a Stanley Cup. And that's they don't even need him. He's not even going to a team that he'll be the last piece to get them to Stanley Cup contention. Like, he's not going to the Habs. He's going to Vegas, who was in the Stanley Cup final, the Florida Panthers, who were the previous 2 years before this past year who win the Stanley Cup, and then Minnesota to go jerk it with his boys, Quinn Hughes. Like,
and honestly, we brought this up, and it's not the same exact situation, clearly, but especially if you're Dylan Larkin or you're Tarek Skubal, your words hold weight, okay? So even though we got into this conversation the other day on our show about Tarek saying, I want to be here, I don't want to be traded, I want us to be buyers. It's like, all right, bro, sign the contract then, okay? I don't want to hear all this stuff about you wanting to be here.
Yeah, that's fair.
So with Larkin, it's like, you sign in it, to Justin's point, you sign in at your contract. You say you want to be here. You say you want to win here. And then you come out and say, oh, I want to be traded. Like, that, to me, is where I think people, like, there's a lot of people that feel the way Justin does. And honestly, he's not absolved from blame. They collapsed last season. Neil brings it up all the time.
Oh, no, he's absolutely part of the blame.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, Yzerman, like, when he called out Yzerman publicly, that was last year. That was 1 year ago. And in that year, he failed to acquire Quinn Hughes. He failed. He said no. And the fact that, like we talked about before, the fact that the Quinn Hughes contract of 1.5 years has outlived Steve Yzerman as a GM should show you everything that you need to know about the Yzerman tenure. And the fact that he can't pro scout or draft necessarily.
See, I'm not saying Larkin's absolved of any blame at all.
No,
like, I'm with it. I've been on it. Like, hey, Larkin, like, you got to step up and play at the end of the day. And like, you had like the Neil stats with all the goal. Like, you have to be able to go out there and perform, especially if you're supposed to be the number one on this team. You have to perform at the end of the day. And if you're not good enough, you're not good enough. And I'm always on the side of asking out. I do think that's weak. But when this all came out a month or two ago, my thing always has been, hey, is he asking out to put pressure on Yzerman? Maybe it was and I'm just looking at both sides here, trying to be a little objective on it. Like, hey, we're trying to get to the bottom of like, why is all of this happening? And like, in my mind, it's, hey, that felt like it was Larkin's final like move. You know what I mean? You're playing like basically a board game, and like, hey, what's my final move, or whatever it is. Like, that felt like it was Larkin's final move. Yeah, of being like, putting pressure on Yzerman, but also Chris Ilitch being like, hey, yeah, this is going nowhere. Like, we're at a kind of standstill right now, and we're not moving forward. We're not moving backwards. We're sitting average in the NHL right now, and that felt like him asking for a trade was trying to, and maybe it was the wrong move. You know what I mean? And obviously, Red Wings fans, as the captain, everyone looks at you as like you said, like basically the god of the town. Like, you are like it. You are it. And that's quite frankly, that's all it is. Like, so for the captain to do that, maybe it wasn't the greatest move, especially on the PR side of things, because you do look a little soft on that side of things, and you look like, hey, you're the captain. You're supposed to be the one that to the end you're staying in there. So for me, I'm trying to look at it as a side of both ways, I guess. And I think Larkin tried to play a chess move, and it turned out bad on the fan base side. But then when you look at now the organizational side, I just wonder if Chris Ilitch is trying to save face with Larkin and is trying to mend those bridges. And the first step of that is getting rid of Yzerman and moving him to a different spot, bringing a new GM in and trying to maybe a GM that is willing to work with Dylan Larkin, because that could be a realistic side of things. Everyone keeps talking about the rebuild. Guys, we've been talking about rebuild for years now, right? Like, maybe Chris Ilitch doesn't want to rebuild at the end of the day. And maybe he will, but maybe this is a thing, like you said, Justin, where Larkin stays in Detroit and Ilitch just fixed it, and now they're going to move forward with him.
Let's go to break. We'll double up here, and I'm going to use my cheesy transition. Even though it didn't work out with Steve Yzerman, you can work out at Planet Fitness. 50-plus metro locations, 60 even, more than 60 locations throughout Metro Detroit, so they're close to you. Planet Fitness High School Summer Pass is back and live until August 31st. Teens 14 and 19 can work out in a Planet Fitness for free all summer long. Register online at planetfitness.com. And check out the Shelby Plaza location on 23 Mile in Shelby Township at Chesterfield, because they've been remodeled. We'll see you after the break. Actually,
let me tell you guys,
all-day IPA.
Yeah, let me tell you guys, hey, we need to get Steve Yzerman an all-day IPA ASAP after this morning, guys. Right now, All Day IPA, they are celebrating their 15th year anniversary. Founders Brewing and the legendary All Day IPA. It's citrusy, it's crisp and refreshing with a perfectly balanced taste. They need to get the Red Wings to be perfectly balanced. They need to figure that out. At a 4.7 ABV, it's built to go the entire distance for an entire game. And right now, you can get $5 shorts at any Art and Jake's locations in Michigan on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays, guys. Just please drink responsibly.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. What about everything in between? All Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. One's great. Two, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All Day IPA. Hop into easy.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Jameer Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Water Hazard. From Founders, very first canned vodka cocktail from Founders. Vodka-based cocktail, 5%. Citrusy, refreshing, gluten-free, best served with a slice of lemon or with a slice of really anything. $5 cans at Art and Jake's locations in Michigan on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Please drink responsibly.
Then tell us about Yalda.
I will, because, guys, I know the pain of having glasses and contacts. LASIK eye surgery can take care of you. And you got to go to people you trust, obviously. Yalda Eye Center are the people to trust. Don't just improve your vision. Fix your vision. With the Yalda Eye Center, 30 years of experience, 100,000 procedures, and it's completely painless. Takes just 8 minutes, and the recovery is so fast, you're seeing 20/20 pretty quickly. Take advantage of the summer promotion, $1,699 per eye, regardless of your prescription. Sounds like a lot, but trust me, over the course of time, you'll save so much money with contacts, glasses. It's the way to go. Wake up with clear vision. Book your consultation with the Yalda Eye Center today at yaldaeyecenter.com/1699. We're back. Crunch time here on Woodward Sports. Talking Steve Yzerman, being out as the Detroit Red Wings general manager. He is in a different role, senior advisor to the CEO and Chris Ilitch. I know people were kind of interpreting that as like he's CEO. No, he's not. He's the senior advisor to the governor.
I thought
CEO,
at first
Chris
when I
Ilitch.
read it, I was like, oh, he's CEO. Now we were in the back. I was like, guys, he's not leaving. He's the CEO of the Red Wings.
Governor of the
And
entire.
then I
Guys, did you read
realized-
it? Like, he's the CEO.
Yeah,
He's
then I
getting
realized
promoted.
he's the senior advisor, and then it kind of turns to, okay, yeah, he's probably going to leave.
No, mad demoted.
Yeah, and
Like,
it's a
super
tough spot to
demoted.
be in if you're.
Who farted says Chris Ilitch is likely going to make Steve Yzerman, Dylan Larkin, and Tarek Skubal all leave Detroit. Great ownership.
Ah. Well,
Well, the comment's not wrong. Also, the Dylan Larkin stuff. Like Neil had the take that he is to blame for some of this. I actually don't disagree with some of that because Neil's biggest point, and a point that I agree with 1,000%, is how much blame does Dylan Larkin deserve in the late season collapse? I mean, and I love the take by Neil, or the point by Neil, of the 0 even strength points in the month of March.
That's his favorite line.
Because it's true, and they collapsed, and he was a part of that collapse. So that's where today is going to be the, hey, let's all let's get together and crap all over Yzerman's tenure here and say it's a win for Larkin. But two things, right? One, Larkin deserves blame for how the season ended. They were in a good position at one point. He crapped the bed. The team crapped the bed. Whatever happened. Steve Yzerman's out. That's the first thing. Number two, will Dylan Larkin remain with the Red Wings? I do not think so, because if he wanted to win before, it's going to get a lot harder now.
That's a
because
fact.
Guys are going to be on the move.
So
it ain't getting the team ain't getting better on paper.
Can I ask you guys a question?
They got a lot of tradable assets, but it ain't going to get better right away.
If Dylan Larkin doesn't ask for a trade, is Steve Yzerman still the GM? I think that's an interesting
I think it was
thought.
I think it was inevitable. I think the Dylan Larkin thing sped it up.
So Dylan Larkin
It
just
was
single-handedly
Kinda.
We sit here and we're like, hey, the Red Wings have the leverage. Steve Yzerman has the leverage where he's able to kind of move this thing around and he can choose where he goes. And then people are like, well, no, Larkin does because he has the no trade clause. He could choose the team he wants to go to. At the end of the day, like you said, it sped it up. Like Dylan Larkin having the trade request, going out there being like, I want out of here. This is a disaster, essentially. Like, you're captain of your organization asking for that.
And it was getting messier by the day.
Exactly. That has to be like, hey, kind of Dylan Larkin, to a degree, had a hand in getting Yzerman out of here. And that's why it makes me think, I know fans don't want Dylan Larkin to stay, but the fact that Dylan Larkin isn't traded and Yzerman's out first makes you think a little bit, does Dylan Larkin stay? And did Chris Ilitch make that decision of Larkin over Yzerman? As crazy as that sounds, I know it sounds crazy.
You hated your boss that much?
That's what I'm saying.
Bro.
But it's like he requested a trade, and now it's sped it up to him getting fired, essentially.
Yeah, but I think
not fired, but moved.
We all thought the overall picture was, hey, I've been in a place for almost 12 years, and we just haven't gone anywhere. And I think, we all know the friction between him and Stevie Y was very apparent. But if that's the sole reason why he chose to opt for a trade and he decides to stay, I think that looks away, don't it? Like, that wouldn't look away to you?
But again, I'm not saying hated, but it's been reported that they butted heads for years now.
Oh, no,
so
they got some
you would have to think part of him requesting a trade was, I don't want to have to deal with Steve Yzerman.
For sure,
again.
But it wasn't the whole reason.
Not the whole reason because they didn't win, but you would have to think if you ranked them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number one, you would think it's the Yzerman situation.
Let's get to the man who would know this information. He's a good friend of ours. He's great at what he does. And please, if you're not already following him or what he's doing over at the Winged Wheel Pod, it's Ryan Hanna. He joins us live. We appreciate you taking the time, Ryan. It's the first time we're getting you on. We're excited to have you. And obviously, what a day to do it. I mean, Steve Yzerman. The role's changing. I laugh because it was just so subtle on the Red Wings Twitter. They just kind of sprinkled a little tweet like, yeah, leadership change. And then you click on it and you're like, holy shit, Steve Yzerman's. But what's your reaction, Ryan? You do a great job covering the Red Wings. You kind of knew everything with Dylan Larkin. First question for you, reaction to it, but is the Dylan Larkin stuff the straw that broke the camel's back? We were talking about that today. What's your opinion on that?
Well, appreciate you guys having me on, and thank you for a better intro to my work than I could ever do for myself. So you guys are good friends to have. But, yeah, I think ultimately you have to look at it as Larkin is the straw that broke the camel's back. You're looking at a Red Wings team here who, if they were keeping Larkin, was going to be behind the 8 ball coming into the season next year in the NHL with how the Atlantic is moving forward. They were projecting for the bottom of the Atlantic on paper right now. And so that was the case if Larkin wanted to stay. And Dylan Larkin asked for the trade. The timing of this just leads me to believe that this is dissatisfaction with where the organization is at, because this is a pretty terrible time to be doing it unless you think it's absolutely necessary, which is what Chris Ilitch ultimately decided here. But yeah, I think the Dylan Larkin trade request and then the lack of any kind of, not that I think it was possible, but kind of quick resolution that moved the team forward thereafter was ultimately it. So in retrospect, there were a couple signs that this may have been coming. I think sources internally with the team have gotten pretty quiet recently. A lot of things have gone into heavy stasis in terms of back end moves, or Simon Edvinson not being signed, no word on Alex DeBrincat yet, that kind of thing. So looking back now, I kind of kicking myself for not seeing this, but had much the same reaction. My coffee barely stayed in the mug this morning.
Hey, Ryan, I do want to ask you, kind of just sticking with the Dylan Larkin stuff, what are the odds you think that he still stays in Detroit like past this whole situation? Do you think this was the Red Wings choosing one over the other? And do you think that, now the next GM of the Red Wings is going to still trade Dylan Larkin?
I think that's still the most likely outcome here. I'm not going to lie. I think maybe the percentage chance that he stays ticked up a little bit. But, asking people behind the scenes, the Dylan Larkin want to leave wasn't, primarily driven by not liking his general manager, even though the two, as you guys mentioned just before I came on, that they had a pretty public, sour relationship with each other. It was driven by wanting to win. So Steve Yzerman being out doesn't mean that this team isn't behind the eight ball still. Like, they still have to make some pretty big decisions, and they are still, working with some pretty big roster gaps. And so I think Dylan Larkin will still ultimately want to leave. And then the elephant in the room is that a captain with 5 years left on his contract asked for a trade. It's going to be really hard to repair that relationship with the fans. I don't think it's impossible, though. Things can change quick. This is a big change. It could be a catalyst to kind of repair to that relationship. Who knows? But I would put that in the single-digit percentage likelihood. I'd be pretty surprised. So I still think the next GM's biggest job is going to be figuring out what to do with Larkin, and I would say that he's likely not going to be a Red Wing sometime in the future. How long? I don't know.
I think an interesting part of this, and Sean Belizean came into our office today. It was like, he's going to be a GM again, and I think that's like the sentiment because and his reason was he's knowing Yzerman, he's got an ego. He wants to prove. He doesn't want to end it like that. It's kind of like the Ken Holland route, which I do want to ask you about. Like he goes in this senior advisor role. Do you kind of foresee, how long do you foresee this lasting for before he eventually takes another job? Or do you see him kind of staying with the Red Wings in the current role he has? I know it's hard, it's early, but what's your feeling on his kind of future there? Will he be a GM again?
My guess is no. That is coming from before this move, though, and so again, things could change. But last year, I think there was a chance. I believe Steve Yzerman was considering, stepping back and kind of taking this Red Wings retirement route, if you want to call it that, beforehand. I think his goal was to get this team over the hump into the playoffs. They've come tantalizingly close the last 3 years or however many, and so I think his ultimate plan was to do that and then step back. Like, he's been in the game a long time. He's starting to wind down how much he wanted to be working. And it's my belief, speaking to multiple sources, that was at least a very strong consideration last season. As you mentioned, he's a really proud guy and a really determined guy. And I think falling short yet again last season, like he didn't want to leave on this note, and that's why he stayed. So, will falling short in Detroit mean that he wants to go prove it somewhere else before he affords himself that retirement? I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't make that decision if he was already considering it. So maybe this is the catalyst. But then again, like, this guy hates losing. This guy hates losing. And so maybe this does push him elsewhere to try to prove a point. But I do have it on pretty good authority that he was already considering this kind of stepping back into a senior advisor role, let someone else run the day-to-day kind of thing beforehand. So I think this is – I would be shocked. But then again, we're wired different. So who knows?
Hey, what do you think, Ryan? I think every Red Wings fan's now looking at what's next for that GM role. Is there any names, any people that you already – I know it's early on. It's still the day of. It just happened a couple hours ago. But is there any names that you're like, hey, I want this guy to be the next GM of the Detroit Red Wings?
There are a lot of people still out there. You have to look at organizations that have been extremely successful, especially in areas where the Red Wings have struggled, primarily within player personnel and pro scouting. So you look at the Tampa Bays, the Floridas, the Carolinas, especially. Can you grab an assistant GM off of them? You're going to see a lot of names pop up from folks who are more analytically minded as well, which I think is probably a direction that the Red Wings want to go in. There's Sam Ventura is a name that's going to be out there or thrown around, I'm sure. I put this out on Twitter. It's, the Carolina fans are going to eat me up for it, and rightly so. But You have Eric Tulsky in Carolina, a GM who just constructed a Stanley Cup winning team, and it's different working under Tom Dundon. I think they have a good relationship, but can the Red Wings go out and make a wild move and just throw this guy a huge bag, huge pay raise, and say you're not only GM but you're president of hockey operations, and so it's technically a promotion? Would they allow Tulsky to take the interview? Would Tulsky even be interested? I know he's from Port Huron, I believe, and so there's some ties there. That's a pie in the sky. Like I'm
right.
But that's the kind of move I think the Red Wings should be making. If not, go look at the assistant GMs or the directors of player personnel or pro scouting from those other successful organizations. I think if this happened earlier, they might have done well to go try to grab Sonny Mehta, for example, from Florida, who is now the New Jersey Devils GM. Those are the kinds of people who I think that you need to go in a different direction on this one, in my mind.
You don't think, Ryan, is there a chance that someone internally within the Red Wings takes over that position? Right now, I have seen a couple names of people some former Red Wings that people are throwing out there. Again, I don't know if they want to go that route again, a former Red Wing. But do you think there's a chance that they kind of go that route again?
There's a chance. I think there's a decent chance, as there always is. Sean Horkoff has done well in his role. I think Chris Draper in amateur scouting has had some hits, has had some misses. But, the timing of this makes me think that they're looking for a pretty significant change. If you were looking to go into the Draper-Horkoff route, my inclination is that would have happened a little less dramatically and a little bit more, hey, I'm stepping back. Chris or, Sean are going to be taking over as GM in the day-to-day, that kind of thing. You're doing this after the draft with a standing trade request from your captain, with Alex DeBrincat's future undecided, with an RFA and Simon Edvinsson who could be poached with an offer sheet at any minute. Patrick Kane is probably on his way out, largely due to how the team's going. Like, this is a strange time to leave things hanging, and you don't do this if there's a solution internally. At least that's my guess. And so I think, yes, there's a chance, but this all signs kind of point to Chris Ilitch is at least primarily going to look external for a big sweeping change here.
Yeah, Ryan, you put out a tweet which I read earlier in the show, and you kind of alluded to it earlier when we were speaking. All the looming decisions that need to be made here for the next general manager, and I know, we can have. I'm going to ask you the attractiveness of this franchise, but not even the franchise, because we know original six team, a ton of Stanley Cups. You're in Hockey Town, but just the team on paper. The timing of it was weird. You kind of addressed that, but looking at it objectively, unbiased from another outside GM, what would be going through your head? This job is open. How attractive is the job with all the decisions that need to be made? And how do you think some of these decisions end up swinging? Edvinsson, DeBrincat, some of those decisions, how do you think those end up falling?
Well, if I'm a new GM looking at this role, I'm thinking, okay, not great. You're going into the toughest division in the NHL, and you have a lot of ground to make up. However, you have a franchise, near-on superstar. He's going to be Norris, vote defenseman in Mo Seider. You have hopefully a franchise winger in Lucas Raymond. You have an opportunity to try to keep a 40-goal scorer in Alex DeBrincat. You have an opportunity to extend Simon Edvinsson to make a top pair of the future for a long, long time. Those are your opportunities. And you can look at it and say, this team could have been in the playoffs the last 3 years with some different decision-making at any given point over those 3 years, down in the margins. You don't let Goss Despair go. You don't make some trades, or you do make some other trades. I'm sure, actually, a sentiment that's been expressed to me from front offices around the league over the course of this Dylan Larkin situation and otherwise, fair or not, some people have said, what the is Steve Yzerman doing on this or that?
Right.
And so there are people who think differently than him, and so there are people who will look at the situation and say, this isn't the gutter. We have something to work with here, and so there's at least a platform, and I can build on this. And the allure of bringing an Original Six franchise back to their glory days, that is a really big thing. That matters a lot. If you remember when Mike Babcock left the Red Wings to go to Toronto, yeah, that was a lot of money he left for, but that was also legacy. I could be the guy to bring Toronto back to their glory days, and that's what he wanted to do. So that's the attractiveness of this. Obviously, we all know how great it is to be in Michigan and the Detroit area as well. Whether other people around the NHL have that sentiment just depends on where they're from, I think. So it's less about that and more just about, if you want to win in a way that's going to put your name on the map and in hockey history, there's almost no better place to do it than the Detroit Red Wings. And when else in history have the Detroit Red Wings been affiliated with losing rather than success, right? Like we had 25 years of consecutive playoff contention, and then now a historic franchise playoff drought, the longest active playoff drought in the NHL. If you're the guy, or if you're the person to come back and fix that's the sell right there.
Hey, Ryan, I want to ask you here, just because obviously there's a lot of things that happened within this whole Steve Yzerman era that, like you said, broke the camel's back, ended this. The couple things that stand out to me is obviously the trade deadline, the Quinn Hughes kind of rumor that they had the deal done. Quinn Hughes didn't want the long-term deal. Yzerman was like, I want a long-term, we're not doing it. And then more recently, there's the rumors of the Jason Robertson thing where they had him on the table potentially for Dylan Larkin, and that didn't go through. Do you think there's a world where Chris Ilitch and them were looking at these and like, hey, man, we need someone that's able to pull the trigger and get those deals done? Because, to your point, you haven't made the playoffs in so long, and this is such a valuable franchise that they're like, we need to, like, it was kind of like, especially this Jason Robertson, that was the last kind of straw of, hey, you have an opportunity to trade Larkin for that, make a big move, and then it doesn't go through, and then now, a week later you're seeing he's out. Do you think that has kind of part to do with that as well?
The Quinn Hughes situation, 2020 hindsight, mind you, yeah, it's got to be a big one. I mean, not only that did that lead to not getting Quinn Hughes, but it also led to Dylan Larkin leaving. Like, Quinn Hughes comes in, Larkin doesn't ask out. That's simple as that.
Yep.
But, at the time, I have to be upfront. I also said if Quinn Hughes won't verbally say, like, I would extend, then how do you give up Simon Edvinsson in that deal? I was in that camp. I wasn't right in the end. I'll freely admit that I was wrong, and I think now, obviously, they should have made that move. But, it's hard because, even I wasn't certain on that because Quinn Hughes wanted to come to Detroit as one of his places. It wasn't the only place, but he told the management of Vancouver, hey, I would be really happy if it ended up being Detroit for all the reasons that we know. And so he wouldn't make the long-term commitment verbally. And so Yzerman, he may ended up making that deal down the road, but I don't think anyone was expecting Minnesota to come in and make the bombshell trade offer that they did. And that was that. The Jason Robertson thing, I'm not as sold as being like a big deciding factor here. The reporting was that there's nothing to indicate that Robertson would extend long-term in Detroit. So it wasn't just that Yzerman is kind of allergic to the big money deals. It's that would Robertson even extend? And for what you're going to get for Larkin, it can't be a 1-year winger who then leaves in free agency next year. Like, it's just not. That'd be a fireable offense in and of itself. So the Quinn Hughes thing, yeah, potentially. But overall, it's just, like you said, it's a guy who's going to go out and pull the trigger and make the moves. I've been saying on the Winged Wheel podcast for a long time now, like, the Red Wings aren't in a bad spot, but they don't have all of the solutions internally. They have the pieces that could turn into the solutions, but at some point you have to GM your way out of this. You've been given a raw deal with the lack of winning any draft lotteries. You didn't get your Celebrinis. You didn't get your Matthew Schaefers. You didn't get those guys. Okay, that sucks, but that is what it is. You have assets, and you can make big swings to go out and get guys who become available, even though it's increasingly rare. What those solutions are, like that, the onus is on the GM at the end of the day. You have to be the one to make those moves. And I think there was just a little bit too much stasis. Too many moves flew past. Other teams were bolder. They were more active. They made more shrewd moves. And Yzerman was, he's hesitant. He was hesitant on giving up assets. He was hesitant on giving up a ton of money. And it just kind of all piled up.
We appreciate you so much, Ryan. I hit up Ryan, man, responded in 3 minutes. I mean, he is on top
legend,
of this
man.
thing, dude. So we appreciate you so much. You guys, please check out Wing Reel Podcast. You're actually live. You guys are live tonight, correct? You guys are going live tonight.
That's right. Yeah, we're going to be recording the show drops late Wednesday night.
There you go. So check the fellas out, man. They're crushing it. We'll talk to you soon, Ryan. We appreciate you so much.
Appreciate you guys. Take care.
There
Thanks,
you go.
Ryan.
We'll go to break. Again, a lot of Red Wings content out there. We got Woodward Wings as well. You guys should already be subscribed to. They crushed. They pumped out an episode like an hour before the show. So plenty of Red Wings content. We got to talk more Red Wings when we come back. I got to address the rebuild stuff because
well, that's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
It's been pissing me off. So we're gonna get to it. What do we got next?
Hey, if you're trying to rebuild your career, Mortgage Pros.
Wow.
Looking for a career upgrade,
this
check
guy.
out Mortgage Pros, the
Elite.
#1 mortgage broker to work for in the state of Michigan. We saw their incredible company culture at their annual block party, and they have with 4.9 stars on Google and over 4,000 reviews as well on Google. Their reputation, it speaks for itself. So if you are looking for a new job, give Mortgage Pros in Troy a call at 248-416-1361. It's Mortgage Pros. Let the pros handle it.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
It's game on at Art and Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Thrive Energy Pouches give me the energy and clarity to find and beat the shit out of every opportunity that shows its face.
Live and direct on back on set action. Create the wave, we get it, ball splash 'em. Mic court swinging, get your head shot. Point blank, dead stop. 16 bars in a headlock.
Thrive Energy Pouches are for the people who actually want to win, not for the crybabies out there who are happy with the participation over. There's zero sugar, so give Thrive a try.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Let me tell you about the best Detroit deep dish pizza
Tell
in
me about
the
that
game,
pizza,
Buddy's
Caleb.
Pizza. If you're having a party, you got to go to Buddy's. Their menu is packed with fan favorites, including their award-winning pizzas, signature salads, home-style pastas, and more. Save 20% on your next catering order of $200 or more when you order with promo code Woodward20. Visit buddyspizza.com/catering to view their complete menu and place your order today. We're back. It's crunch time on Woodward Sports, talking Steve Yzerman. And on top of that, what the hell is going on with Detroit sports right now, man? And I'll say this. We're going to get into this because it seems to be, the vibe is, and we talked to Ryan, we talked to Justin, the vibe is, buckle up, another rebuild's coming. I am so sick and tired. Guys, look at me.
Get it off.
Guys, take a look at me right
Get it off,
Let me
Jeff.
get the solo cam on this, Caleb. Get the solo cam.
Yeah, ISO, my man.
You see this? You see this hair?
ISO.
You see this hair? I don't know how much longer I'm going to have this hair. Because I'm stressing out about this shit. I got to watch rebuild after rebuild after rebuild. And you're talking to someone who, and I'll say it, defended Troy Weaver. And he loved rebuilds. Booner used to tell me all the time, dude, the guy's addicted to rebuilds. And he was right.
It's a drug for him.
I had to watch that rebuild. Okay, well, good thing I'm a fan of other franchises. At the same time, the Lions rebuilding, and thank God they are doing something. We'll see what happens this year. The Red Wings, rebuild. The Tigers, rebuild. And now where are we at right now with both the franchises that Chris Ilitch runs? I smell a rebuild again.
Rebuild's on the way,
I smelled
baby.
another rebuild in Detroit. And can we just please, the Lions are up by themselves trying to do something. And as much as we want to criticize what the Lions do, which it is fair, they're at least trying.
They're relevant.
They're relevant. They're being talked about.
Pistons too,
I'm so disgusted. I'm sick and tired, guys. I'm tired of it. I love talking sports, but I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of dealing with fucking rebuilds. I can't do it anymore, man. And and guess what? The Red Wings, they're heading towards it. The Tigers are probably going to. We'll see what happens. School will blow the candle out. You're heading towards rebuild.
Yep.
I'm going to have a family before I see a winner.
Probably.
I'm going to have a family. I'm going to have a receding hairline. It's going to be completely different, Jeff. Okay? When I get to see some fucking winning in this town. Well, the Pistons are doing it right now, so thank God. Thank you. Finally, we made it out of the rebuild there. But with the Tigers and the Red Wings.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore, Boone. I can't do it anymore. I'm sweating thinking
Jeff,
about
you
it.
do realize, the last Detroit championship was 2008 with the Red Wings. That was 2008. It is now 2026. It's been 18 years, and I am much, much older than what I was back then.
Think about that, Boone. Think about
End them! End the rebuild! Chris Ilitch, I'm asking you, specifically. We have the Tigers, who potentially everyone's telling me needs to rebuild. Now the Red Wings are rebuild. I'm hanging on for life here, fighting to be no, let's not rebuild. I don't want to rebuild. I want to win a championship. And it's the same owner for two of the teams. That's what it is right now.
That's odd.
Can we stop with the rebuilds in the city of Detroit? Can we just have a winner? Can people spend more money? Can we make big moves? Because then when I go to Trajan Langdon, make the big move. I get called an idiot from Detroit fans because I'm mad, and then they're like, no, he's so good. When we say, Brad Holmes, make the big move. No, you're an idiot. He knows what he's doing. Steve Yzerman, make the big move. No. Hashtag Yzer plan. What, Scott Harris, like, somebody step up and make a play so we're done with these rebuilds, dude. Please. Could someone save us? If I had $1 trillion, I would buy every team in this city, and I would go all in.
Own all the teams.
I would go all in every year. Could someone just put their nuts on the table and actually win a damn championship in the city? Yeah. Please.
Please, dude.
Can we stop with this stuff? GM fired. Oh, sorry, not fired. Moving jobs. Oh, fired. Can we move? Can we just win, please? Yzerman should have got Quinn Hughes. Make the move, dude.
Yeah, like at least like Gringo. He says, Jeff, common denominator is Chris Ilitch. That's why it's trash. You're right. There is a common denominator in all this, guys. Like problem-solving skills. We're figuring it out here as a team. There's one common denominator with two of these franchises.
And Navy, go. Tell this dude to stop yelling in the mic. I'm going to yell into the mic until we win a damn championship in the city of Detroit.
It's going to be a while.
I'm going to do what I want to do. Hey, maybe you should go tell the GMs and the owners to go do something. How about that? Don't waste your time telling me to stop yelling. Go waste your time telling GMs to actually do something in this town.
Well, Doc's in the chat. He says, I'm being told the next Detroit Red Wings GM will tell Ilitch it takes 8 years to get to the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we look at.
I mean,
it's horrible.
KG, I'm going to have a family before we start winning with these two franchises.
I've damn near had a family since the last time we won a championship. And it's crazy, bro, because, and I'm glad, Booner, I'm glad you finally started to see the light now. This is why I get so upset about the Tigers. And it's not just Scott Harris and the way he runs things. It's been Chris Ilitch and his ownership and the fact that you have wasted a good opportunity. We hadn't had winning baseball in well over a decade. We finally get a Tigers team to spring up, and 24 was a magical run. The Twins collapsed. You came back. You made the playoffs, won a series, and you're thinking, okay, it's only brighter from here. But 2 years later, here we sit, and everything is the same and getting worse. And now, like you said, we're heading for a rebuild in baseball. We are now officially heading for a rebuild in hockey when Steve Yzerman, a made man in this town, could not get the job done. And you're just looking at, like, where is it going to come from? Because the Pistons, I still think they're a little bit of ways away, although they're closer. And the Lions as well. They took a step back when we thought they were on the cusp. It's very frustrating to be a Detroit fan, to say the least.
It's so frustrating. Like, and I'm not joking, by the way. Like, I'm
starting to sweat.
By how these franchises, and when I mean franchises, I mean the Tigers and the Red Wings, who, again, common denominator as an owner with Chris Ilitch. By the time these teams are winning, I'm going to have a family.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a family. My kids will have kids. I will be a grandpa. It's how it's trending right now. I can't take it. I'm sick and tired of rebuilds. And I had, again, I'll say it again, I had to deal with Troy Weaver. I defended him. Oh, the rebuild, let the guys develop. Dude, we're over that. And big credit to the Pistons and Lions for getting their shit together. But the Red Wings and Tigers, I can't do it. And I know Detroit sports fans feel the same exact way, man. I do. Like, I'm going to turn into Maz. I'm turning into Maz.
Yeah, Maz has went his whole life with no championships.
And I love Maz as my guy, but Maz tells us, like, he's like, that's Unk. We love Maz. Yeah. We all went to a Tigers game with Maz.
Yep.
What does Maz always say to us when the Knicks were kind of going through the playoffs? Guys, I was 11 when they won. and I love you, Maz. I don't want to be that. I don't want to wait that long.
I was 12 the last Pistons championship.
Yeah, so man. I don't want to.
It's bad, bro.
Caleb, please. You're wearing the English D. Do something.
Look, if I could do something, I would. We were essentially blue-balled. We were on top of the world like 3 years ago. All the teams were on the ascension. Lions were one of the best teams in the NFL. Tigers were on the up and up. They had that magical 2024 season. Pistons, Cade Cunningham turning into an all-star. We kind of saw the vision there. And we basically, like, all these GMs here, like, you guys can get fucked. Like, in these windows, I feel like all these teams, and what was exciting about Detroit sports, and to an extent kind of still now, is we had this window, and all the teams were in it kind of at the same time. Like okay, now we're starting to contend. We're all waiting for that breaking news, big move. One of these GMs are going to make it. And we were blue-balled, and we kind of just blew past that window. And now, like you guys are saying, it's looking like maybe 2 out of these 4 teams are about to head into a rebuild. So it's incredibly disappointing.
You know what it reminds me of real quick? The meme of the guy, like, there's the edge of, there's the balcony, and he's like,
yeah.
Yeah. That's like the open window, and all these GMs are like,
yeah.
They want to jump through the window, and they just won't freaking do it.
I think this is what it is with that. As a fan base in Detroit, like Teddy put in there, Quinn Hughes didn't want to commit long term. Like, guys, we all know that. What we're asking is a GM to say, screw it, I don't care.
Take a risk.
Make the move and try and win. And this isn't just an Yzerman thing. Again, it's a Brad Holmes thing. It's an Yzerman thing. It's a Scott Harris thing. It's a Trajan Langdon thing as of right now. Like, no one ever is taking these risks in Detroit. And we just keep getting edged and edged and edged. And it's like, oh, my gosh. And you know what this actually, maybe we need to step up. Maybe Detroit fans, because listen, we've done everything the last 20 years. No one's done anything. No organization in the city or team has made a move. Maybe we need to go out there, and I'll say it, and maybe we can set this up. We need to go have like a rally or whatever it's called out in downtown. We need to do it. We need to, and we need to say, you know what,
man march.
Because eventually, at some point, when the fan base really starts pushing back at these teams, they're gonna make a move. People actually say, hey, like fans don't have fans have voices. They do. Like Brad, you want to know how I know they have voices? Why did Brad Holmes ask Jeff Iafrate after an interview, why are people talking about the edge so much still? What's going on with the edge? Because they hear us. They know. And it puts pressure on them. It really does. And that's why when you see in some cities when that pressure starts to mount a little bit, guess what they do? Some GMs in other cities, they make the move. They do. They pull the trigger and they go, this is a lot of pressure from the fans. I could get fired. I'm going to make a move. We're going to try and go all in. Guess what happens with some of them? They win. It's pretty simple. So maybe we need to go out there and do that ourselves. Well, maybe we should set something up, and we should go out to Pizza organization downtown, wherever it's called. What is that building called? The Little Caesars headquarters. And we can go out there, and we all go make our signs, and we get a day, and we say this side we're going out there, either make a move and try and win a championship or sell the team. I don't know.
I think Chris Illich gonna walk by y'all and not bat an eye.
And we'll be there every day
with a new bag.
Yep. hey, get these people out of here.
And we will be there every day until something changes. We will be there every day.
These people out of here. Like,
we will be there every day.
Well, yeah.
Sounds good.
Here's the thing too. Like, and this is
something needs to happen.
No, you know what? This is where I'm at with it. Like, because you know what people will say, and by people I mean us, because I do understand the sentiment. Like when we talk about big names, and we're consistent on the show, like. Not everyone wants to come to Detroit. I understand that. But when you have an opportunity to trade for somebody that actually says, I would like to go to Detroit, you got to pull that trigger.
Yeah.
You got to, because we got to be consistent here, guys, right? There's players, free agents, and guys that want to be traded. But it's like, well, they don't want to come to Detroit, and, they don't want to come here. I'll tell you what, when a player says, hey, one of my trade destinations is Detroit, no matter what franchise it is, you pull that freaking trigger. Knowing how hard it is already, and he needs to commit long term, guys. I've seen this in sports before. We've seen guys that get traded that won't commit long term to somewhere, especially when they're on the list of teams they want to be traded to. They end up signing an extension.
Yeah.
Like that it happens.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible. You convince that said player to stay.
I mean, it's obvious with Quinn Hughes. He was like, I don't want to commit. I don't know. Did he commit to Minnesota? Does anyone know? Did he sign a contract there yet?
That I do not know.
Let's see.
But I don't think he has.
But Minnesota said, hey, we're still going to make the move. Yeah. We want to win.
And guess where Larkin's one of his trade destinations was?
Minnesota.
See, like this is
interesting, because guess what? When you get Quinn Hughes and you had Dylan Larkin, if you would have had that at the trade deadline, I could guarantee you someone this offseason would be like, I want to go to Detroit.
Yeah.
I think, too, it's like, because we've heard it from Brad especially, this is to blame on the owners and the GMs. It's like they're so focused on the sustained success. Like, because they're seeing 4-field pack, they're seeing LCA pack, they're seeing these, the fans rally around these teams. They're like, we need to make sure this happens for a long time. So I don't want to trade away future assets. No, that's not how it works. They need to look at, I feel like they think that, like, okay, if they win a championship, then 2 years down the road, because they traded their future assets, they're bad and the fans are going to turn their back on them. That is the complete opposite. If a team wins a championship here because they made that big swing move, everybody's going to love them. That's just how it works. And I don't know if, like, the owners and management really think that way, and it's incredibly frustrating.
But that kind of goes to Booner's point of what can you do, really. I think the only thing you can do is just maybe not go to the games, because the only way these owners will listen is if you hit them in the pockets, especially in one like a Chris Illich's case. One of those sports is a no-cap league. So for the Tigers, it really has been no excuse, which is why I've been so passionate about it. And you look at the landscape, baseball is about to change. Possibly you're getting a cap or a floor or whatever. But you wasted a good opportunity to really get some talent in here and really go after it. But in terms of just trying to get through to ownership, because the GMs can only do so much, I think they are working under, the orders of whatever the ownership wants. That may be the only way to get through to them. But that's a hard sell, because even when these teams are bad, we're going to show up. That has been proven. That's just Detroit. That's how passionate we are. That's how much we love these teams. So it sucks, because it feels like we can't do anything.
We need a Booner path.
We need,
right.
And it's
a
not,
honestly,
it's not even for the Red Wings, Tigers. It's for the whole city of every sports team.
Yeah.
Championship path.
We need a championship path. And that's where I said it starts with we need to go down and protest.
Let's go.
The Boonership path.
We have to have a protest. I think it starts with that, and then you start taking the money out of their pockets. But something has to happen. Us just sitting back, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
We got to. Maybe we'd step up and do it. I don't know.
We'll go down there. It'll be us four. We'll be outside, and then every day there's a couple
we'll be
more.
there. Keep at it. Keep at it.
Trickling more people around.
Because but then it sucks, because we've been so close. Management can easily be like, "Hey, the Tigers, we just won 2 playoff series. We're right there."
And then we can be like, "What did you win?"
The Red Wings, hey, we were just a couple, things away from actually being in the playoffs. We were in the thick of it, and right before March every single year. It's just like, come on, man. We've been so close, and that's why I kind of hated that the Tigers did get in the playoffs last year and won with the motto of, the same shit they've been doing, because it gives a belief that, okay, we can continue to piece this shit out like we've been doing. So I think
we got to go to their front door.
I feel like
the doorsteps.
Like, to your point, and I kind of alluded to it, I think they think we're happy with just like getting into the dance, like getting into the playoffs and maybe winning a game or two. I feel
without
like
them sacrificing
and that's
a lot.
all. And
yeah.
Obviously the Red Wings they have the longest playoff drought in the NHL. But Tigers, Lions, and Pistons, I feel like they think we're happy just to watch playoff sports because, in years prior we didn't get it. No, the ultimate goal now is a championship. And you have to make the moves to get that done, not a rebuild. Well, we might see a couple.
This comment, the Lawrence program, great comment here. The comment reads, was 16 for Bad Boys chip and 30 for 04 win. Kate is definitely going to get us a chip, but you all going to be unk when it goes down, and I'll be in a home.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
damn.
I'll still be spry. Even if I'm unk, I'll still be spry. I'll still be moving around.
I don't even know. We might be dead.
Yeah, Lions have never done it. Pistons have been spread out. Red Wings had a renaissance, and then it kind of fell apart. And what the Tigers has been since '84. It's
Booner,
bad.
You need to launch the Boonership.
I think we're gonna have to. I think I'm genuinely, and if people, I'm down to go down to Illich or Pizza organization, make some sides. Yeah. We want winners.
Hey, hit up Sean and ask him what he did wrong with the Miller Man March.
We're gonna figure that out.
Yeah,
we're gonna figure that out.
Perfect it this time. Yeah.
Did it not get fired? Didn't he not get fired after that?
I can't remember, but yeah,
kind of worked.
He regrets it to this day. So I think it worked for
sure.
He
regrets doing the march.
Yeah,
why?
He speaks about it all the time. I don't know. He just felt like it was kind of disorganized and it just didn't come together the way he envisioned it. It led to more problems than solutions. But ultimately, as a fan, I watched that and then I watched Matt Millen leave like a year later.
Yeah,
so I thought it worked.
I'm gonna text the OG and maybe we get him involved and maybe
he wants no part of that, but but
on the back end. On the back end.
On
the back end.
Structure.
I just want a back end help. Someone who's been there, done that. I want the back end.
Yeah, learn from his experience.
I'm gonna text him when we get off the show here today.
Let's do it.
This might happen.
The crunch time march.
We might go the Illich march or something. I don't know.
Let's read some of these super chats. We'll go to break right after. Michigan Go Blue. Appreciate the 5. He says, if we don't get Cade help, this could turn into Trae Young Hawks 2.0 and he could leave. Okay, well.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. Appreciate the 5, though. Drew, appreciate the 5 as well. Agree wholeheartedly, Sats Jesus. Talking about Justin.
Yeah, Sats Jesus.
He is, shout out Justin,
Jesus,
He's
man.
Great.
His original nickname.
Let's go to break. We probably should double up here. Right, Caleb? I mean, we probably blew past like another 2 breaks. I We got we'll
Just having fun.
Say something to
Let's do
Caleb. What are you
Icon
doing?
Auto and
Auto.
Supreme Lending.
Let me tell you guys about Icon Auto. We're excited to welcome them to the Woodward Sports family. If you've been in an accident or your vehicle needs repairs, make sure you trust the team at Icon Auto Repair and Collision. With 3 convenient Metro Detroit locations, they have them in Madison Heights, Shelby Township, and Pontiac. They've got you absolutely covered. They offer free car loaners and even offer to pay your deductible. Visit iconauto.com. It's the Icon you can count on.
And you gotta go to more people you trust. It's Supreme Lending. Buying a home or refinancing is a massive decision. That's why you go to Chad and Chris over at Supreme Lending. Full service lender, 99% close on time rate, 97% customer satisfaction score. Mention Woodward Sports. We'll get up to $500 off your appraisal. To score the deal, call the numbers on your screen. Talk to Chad and Chris at Supreme Lending today.
You're building a whole combat sports enterprise in the heart of it in Detroit, and that's what I think is the coolest.
I think with opportunity, right? Like you said, maybe you like to punch people in the face for real, and you know you want to be a boxer, and you have an option there. Maybe you don't like getting punched in the face, and you want to make, you like the theatricals and the storylines, and so you have an avenue here. Maybe you start at one and then want to change to the other. I don't care. I just want you in the building and know that you have some place to go to explore that. Just having the ability to, what do you want to do and how do you want to do it to the best of your ability? And it all starts with the kids.
Wake you up every Monday through Friday on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. That's right, Big D Energy has moved to mornings. Get your morning dose of Neil's tone and Sean's insanity. Weekdays 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. 2 Detroit sports legends coming together for the best Detroit sports morning show there is. Big D Energy, waking you up weekdays on Detroit's #1 sports network.
Shout out to the good people over at Mad Packs, and they blessed your boy. Ooh-wee, with the Boom Shakalaka Live Resin Infused Tarantula. The Maui Wowie. I haven't had the Maui Wowie, but you can get some of these great products as well. And they are promoting, of course, these and some of their new gummies as well. You can get the Boom Shakalaka 200 milligram hash rosin gummies or the Hilo 200 milligram live resin gummies alongside the Mad Packs extracts, Blizzard packs, pre-rolls, flour, all the needs that everything is covered with Mad Packs. So go to getmadpacks.com. Mad flavor, mad high, Mad Packs.
Let me tell you guys about Art and Jake's, man. This is the greatest establishment on the planet Earth. We went there for the UFC fight, the McGregor fight, the Patty the Batty fight.
Was it a fight?
Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't a fight. But we have Tigers baseball there. Woodward Sports. We are heading to Art and Jake's in Shelby Township for a Detroit Tigers watch party. You can come hang out with the crew as we will be live Wednesday, July 22nd at 8 p.m. as the Detroit Tigers take on the Chicago Cubs. You won't miss a single pitch with 80 wall-to-wall TVs, 22 draft beers on tap, and they also have a menu packed with absolute fan favorites. Every time I go there, I try something new, and it's just as good as the thing before. It's incredible. So come party with us, grab a Founders, and watch the Tigers take down the Cubs. Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
We'll get to the chat here. Dark Cash, he'll start us off. Honestly, the bad thing is the Fords and Illich just sell or advertise their products at different arenas. So that said, owner can get pissy and not advertise, so we have to suck so our owner makes more money.
Yeah, listen, this is the thing, guys. I would love to love the owner.
Yeah.
I just want to win.
Well,
and when you don't make the playoffs, as long as you, it's not, honestly, too, it's not even like win championship. It's like for the Wings, just make the playoffs, dude. That's it.
But here's two prime examples of ownership changing winning the fans back. Tom Gores. I mean, remember all the shit Tom Gores got? Like
at one point, he was the most hated owner in town.
No doubt.
I was going at Tom Gores.
Everyone was.
Hard.
Everyone was. Everyone was. And guess what? He got it right. And he paid a lot of money for Monty Williams to hit the curb. Like, straight up.
Not only that, he
cashed the check.
He came to the podium and admitted responsibility.
And he did that as well. Guess what? Now fans are Pistons. Everyone's excited. Yeah, you can talk about the offseason, but no one. You notice how no one's been going at Tom Gores.
No, I mean, everyone's happy with him. And we've said it. I said it with Tom Gores. I said, hey, if he wins, everything's fine.
Yeah.
But you have to win. And I think Tom Gores is an owner. And I think if you're a pro sports owner, you got to know, hey, fans are going to hate me if we have a bad product.
Yeah.
If you put a good product out there, guess what? People are going to pay to go see you, and they're going to love your team, and they're going to talk good about your team. But the thing with the Wings is right now, it's like, hey, it's not even that you are, you haven't made the playoffs since when? When was the last time we made the playoffs? Do we know the exact year? 2012?
Yeah.
2016? I mean, we're going on 10
2014, I believe.
It's the longest drought.
10 plus years. And again, it's not like it's like not a playoff or a championship drought. It's a playoff drought for a team and an organization that was there for 25 plus years.
Historic franchise. Yeah.
And you haven't made it in 10 years. And you could sit there and fire every GM and every coach and every player you want, but at the end of the day, guess who that falls on? It's top down, man. It is. And I'll be consistent, Jeff, because we've had these arguments with Tom Gores, and you remember how hard I was going at him 2 years ago? And I always had that, like, are we allowed to go at Tom? Like, what is it? Like, should we wait? Guess what? I said, screw it. Well, I'm going at Tom Gores because at some point, ownership has to step in, and it's culture, it's players, it's GMs, it's coaches. You're the one that's making every single decision from top down. And when some of these decisions aren't made, like the Quinn Hughes one, how do we know for sure that didn't come from Chris Ilitch?
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe Yzerman wanted to make these moves, and that's why they ended up getting hold on so long to Yzerman, was because Yzerman wanted to make the Quinn Hughes move, and Ilitch was like, no, we're not going to do it. And I'm not saying that's it, but that's what I'm saying, where ownership can always step in. If Chris Ilitch wanted Quinn Hughes, he could have told Yzerman, do it. Like, do it. I don't care if you don't want to do it. So it does come top down at the end of the day. And we'd see owners take over teams sometimes like that because they are tired of losing so much. At some point, when you're in a 10-plus year playoff drought, ownership does have to step up and put a foot down and say, we're making the playoffs, man. Like, we're getting this done.
Yeah, and then there's the extreme. There's the Jerry Jones where he is doing it and saying doing it.
Yeah.
So he's the one that's in there making moves.
Right.
Which, like, you know, the Cowboys haven't won in a while, so there's the extreme version of that. But, like, yeah, you're right.
Sheila, to a degree, did it.
I'll say this, and I was going to bring up her as well, like, because I just brought up Tom Gores and gave him credit. Like, I'm going to give credit to Sheila. Like, you people go at Sheila Fordhamp. Okay, understood. But let's keep it a stack here. She's also the one, when the Lions started off, the second year, after the first year they won like 3 games, and the second year they were 1-6, who said, you know what, I'm going to hold a media scrub and talk to the reporters and say be patient. And what happened after that? The Lions went on a run, went 8-2 down the stretch, almost made the playoffs that year. Like, Sheila stood in front of reporters, and she got drilled with tough questions. She answered them, and the Lions ended up turning things around. Now, they haven't won a Super Bowl, which that's at the end of the day what you measure on, but you give her a lot of credit because, you know, she was in that same kind of time. Tom Gore, Sheila stood in front. Accepted responsibility. They hated her.
She got booed at the Calvin. The famous Lions fans
No doubt.
Come on now.
And they fixed the stuff with Calvin. So, yeah, like, it's you got to give credit where it's due there, and then you have Chris Ilitch.
Hey, I just want to ask people in the chat, or maybe you guys know this question. When was the last time Chris Ilitch stepped up and said, this is on me?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Like,
he has
stepped
never
up to
done
the camera.
He's never done that.
We just said Tom did it?
The last time
Sheila
you saw
it?
Chris Ilitch was during the Tigers' last playoff run, in which he said he did kind of want to, you know, continue the winning of the Detroit Tigers. But besides that, you haven't seen it.
We've seen Tom Gore step up to the camera and say, this is on me, I'm going to fix this. Sheila did it. Chris Ilitch owns the other 2 teams. We have not heard him step up and say, I'm getting the job done.
And guess what? You won't.
I'm getting it done.
You won't.
And it needs to happen because you just fired the captain of your organization, Steve Yzerman. Step up. I want to hear from him. What's the move? Where are we at as a franchise? And it's the same thing with the Tigers. Where are the Tigers at? We really don't hear from them. But with the Red Wings, man, it's a 10-year drought. Step up to the camera, say something. Tell the people. Look them in their eyes. Do what Sheila Hamp did.
Ilitch ain't that guy.
And it seems like such a small thing, but like even Tom Gores, you see he's at summer league sitting courtside. Like he's at these games, you could see him like Chris Ilitch, you don't see him at these games. You maybe once in a while you'll see him at a Tigers game once in a while, in the playoffs. But like, look at a guy like Mark Cuban, who I believe like Dallas, the Mavs liked like when he was there. Like he was there. He was boots on ground all the time. He had a relationship with fans, and I felt like the fans at least knew like he was trying, and he loved the franchise that he owns, and you don't get that with Chris Ilitch. You don't believe that he's passionate about actually winning here in Detroit, and it ticks all of us off. It makes all the fans mad.
Yeah, especially when he's in charge of 2 franchises.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not just, you
never see him.
Yeah.
Never.
No,
ever.
and I'm glad that's a big part of being an owner is, like, yeah, you're running the franchise, but you got to be – and the Mark Cuban comp, that's a great one too. Like, that dude, they won. They won a title with Dirk, but he was there. He was courtside. He was involved. Like, Tom Gore is another great point. Like, even when they were losing, like, Tom – I'm not saying Tom has all the answers. The guy's – listen, he's not perfect, clearly. You know what I mean? Clearly. But he'll do whatever it takes. He wants to win.
Yeah.
He's tried it. He's hired Troy and Dwayne Casey. Didn't work out. Okay, Dwayne transfers roles, fired Troy. Bang, we get Trajan Langdon. JB Bickerstaff. It's working out. Okay, now they're getting somewhere. I'm not saying it's easy, but man, like as simple as like something happens like this today, and I don't know if there's going to be there should be definitely some sort of press conference or something.
There needs to be something within the next 24 hours.
You can't come out with some statement.
It won't be the owner. It'll be the
It has to be the owner.
Red Wings GM.
And the next 24 hours, Chris Ilitch needs to have a press conference.
It can't be
You
just
have
this
to hear
statement article where
no,
it's like a quote.
And that's why it is a little concerning that they I don't want to say they tried to hide it, but it was like, do you put it out as an article? And instead of actually putting like, hey, Dylan, or I keep saying Dylan Larkin. I did it in the pregame or pre-show. But with like Yzerman, like, oh, hey, Yzerman's out. It's like, oh, you have to click. You have to go search. Like, it's like, dude, say it and then have a press conference the same day. Like, if you're going to make the move, put your nuts on the table, make the move.
Right.
That's how I look at this. Like Tom Gores did that. And he did it multiple times, too. I remember he did and I was actually kind of mad at it to where he picked his own reporters to come in and have a sit down and a Zoom call, and some reporters weren't in it, some were, and he got to pick and choose. I didn't like that because I was like, you're controlling your own narrative at that point. But then after that, I remember a lot of people were online pushing back at that, and then Tom Gores put a statement out, and then also met with media.
Yeah.
So it was like, hey, at some point, you got to step up and say something, because this isn't just, oh, man, we just missed the playoffs. Oh, darn. No, 10-year drought, man. 10-plus year drought.
Yeah, like
it's concerning.
Like this, the quote in the press release article that Ilitch had, it says clearly we are not where we and our fans expect to be as an organization. I'm looking forward to bringing in new leadership to build the championship caliber organization Hockey Town deserves. Okay, say that. Like, go. I want that. People need to see you say that. Like reading it on some article, it's like, all right, cool, it sounds great, but there's something about being in front of a camera for people to see you. It's more raw.
It's something big happens. It's the same thing in like politics, more than one man. Quote. Something big happens. You want to hear from the governor. You want to hear from the president, and it's typically an unwritten rule. Hey, step up and say something.
Right.
And most do, and almost majority do. It's like that in any organization, right? Like Woodward Sports. Oh, we signed with Woodward Sports. Guess what? We're gonna do a video and tell you guys and talk about it. Go live about it. Like it's in every profession. It's like you want to hear from the top, man. Mm-hmm. You do. If there's a major change, and especially in an organization like this, you have to hear from the top.
Good luck.
I'm actually shocked. We're kind of talking ourselves into this, and we're actually like in real time being like, hold on a second. Why haven't we heard from Chris Ilitch and all of this?
This is what he always do.
Yeah, it's high. It's
this has been this track record. It has. And his dad, it's a damn shame because Mr. I, he was different.
No doubt.
He at one point was somebody that would not spend money as well, that wouldn't invest as much in the teams as well. But even he woke up and had an epiphany one day to, okay, I need to really get behind, this teams or these teams. And they had a renaissance. You saw the Tigers go to 2 World Series under Mr. I. You saw the Red Wings have a load of success in the early 2000s and the 90s under Mr. I. So, I mean, it's just one of them things, bro. But I don't think you're going to get that from him.
I think the biggest thing is I think the fan base needs to see like a path forward.
Yeah,
you need to have a vision, because it is. I think it as a fan, it is frustrating for fans to look at this, especially the fact that it's a big name in Yzerman and it didn't work for so long, and then everyone's like, well, who are you going to get better than Yzerman? And he couldn't do it. And now you just don't have a vision. You don't. And you also have the Larkin stuff going on. DeBrincat only has 1 year left on his deal. You're just in like the organization's in a really, really bad spot right now, and it's like someone has to be able to step up and lead the fan base forward.
Yeah.
And who's going to do that?
No hope.
I love this comment. Brandon, need to be external with replacement, top to bottom culture shift, and a real commitment to an actual rebuild. Amateur and pro scouting departments have to be fully gutted. I do agree. We asked Ryan about the internal. This has to be external.
You would think, right?
You got to go to a team that's had a lot of success and go find someone.
You got to. And I know it sounded great on paper at the time. Like Stevie Y, you get him from Tampa, captain, legend. You go like, okay, this guy's won cups as a player, as a GM. Like you're expecting him to come. It didn't work out necessarily. It's okay. You move on. But I'm with Ryan. You go grab an assistant general manager from a winning organization and an organization that succeeds in areas where you lack. You know, it sounds simple, but it's like what the Lions did with, at least from a head coach and GM perspective. They did it. They hired two guys that had a relationship at the time. Brad and Dan didn't have a relationship, so it was risky. But they got Dan from the Saints. They were winning with Sean Payton. And then you got Brad from L.A., and they were winning in L.A. So, like, they were a winning organization. At least they made a Super Bowl at the time. So, yeah, I'm with you, Brandon. I think it's a great point there. You got to go external. There's no doubt. You can't go internally.
I just saw this. I
Massive
saw this
disappointment.
tweet. I think it's just I don't know specifically who it is on Twitter. His name's Joe Chapp. He said biggest issue that he has with Yzerman was his lack of leadership. The fact that he basically is saying the fact that Larkin and Yzerman didn't see eye to eye. Like you look at your leader and you go, hey, you've got to be able to mend that. And then also, this is the best point of it. Players didn't want to come here in free agency because of that. Like Larkin, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been Justin and them talking on the Wings show about it. But I heard at some point someone would say, hey, and the NHL is turning into a kind of a players' league. You see that with the contracts and players wanting to move around so much. Yzerman's not a players' guy. Like it's his way or the highway. So it's hard to build a franchise when the leader of your franchise isn't willing to give in to the new age of the NHL.
Yeah.
And you can't get free agents. Guys don't want to come here. They're not fully going to commit long-term here if they're traded here because of that potentially.
Like you said, it's purgatory.
Yeah.
That's the worst place to be.
It's the worst. In all of sports, it's the worst place to be.
And I'm hoping that the feeling I'm hoping, because at the end of the day, it is an original six team. It's an all-time great franchise. To be able to say, hey, I turned around the Detroit Red Wings, I brought them back to the glory days, would be a massive, massive piece on your resume. Yeah. So I do think there is an attractiveness with the job. Like I'm not saying they're doomed from like no GM's going to want to come here, no assistant GM's going to want to come here.
Yeah.
They'll have definitely suitors that want to come here because, like Ryan was saying too, like imagine you're the guy that turns around Hockeytown. You get them back to not only the playoffs but contending for a Stanley Cup. Yeah. So there is like as much as we've been letting some steam off. Like there's some hope at the end of the tunnel. It's a massive hire there for Chris Ilitch.
This is the most pivotal moment here in Red Wings since in the last 25 years.
Easily.
This is the most pivotal moment right now.
Imagine in the next
move.
year or two, you dump Scott Harris as well. Like we're going to be revisiting this conversation.
Talk to me dirty,
like,
Jeff.
Man, dude.
God damn.
I mean, Chris Ilitch just cleaning house. It's just not. It's not work. You got to get. I'm not saying
Can
you
Chris
got
to go to. No,
I'm not saying you got to go. It's like this is what I find like kind of funny about this whole thing. Like the search committee will include Ilitch Sports Entertainment president. Like.
Wait, what?
The search is going to include, obviously, Stevie Y will help as like from an advisory, in an advisory capacity. But the search committee will also include Ilitch Sports and Entertainment President and CEO Ryan Gustafson.
Oh my God!
Along with other leaders. Love to know who the other leaders are.
Come on.
They need to make
people
this
that don't know shit about sports
public. They need to tell the fan base what's going on.
Yeah. Well, who's what did the Dolphins didn't necessarily? I don't think it worked out. We'll see what happens with the Dolphins. Did the Dolphins go get who was the dude they
Ross?
No, they got a guy to help with their search. He's on TV.
Chris Collinsworth, was it?
They got someone.
I know what you're talking about.
I can't think of the name, man.
Yeah.
Chad, help me out. But like, you might need to go get someone to, like the Lions did. They got Spielman to help out.
Yeah.
Troy
Aikman.
Remember that? And by the way, I'm not saying that worked out for the Dolphins.
An outside consultant.
But maybe an outside consultant would be a nice maybe.
Sheila did. She hired an outside firm to come in and help with the search. So.
You had Chris Spielman helping out, guys that know ball. Guys that know what it takes, know how this business works. So, Yeah, we'll see how that works out. But
do something. Just
Honestly.
roll over. Like, just
get an
show a sign of life.
And also say something. I want to hear from him.
Two things
I'm
we're
gonna be
expecting.
consistent with that going forward.
Speak
Good luck
in
with
public. Get a press conference. That'd be awesome. It would still, people would still feel that way, but it'd definitely feel better if you spoke to the people. Number two, get an outside consultant. All right, get someone that actually is that you feel very good about leading the search. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. We got to get to, what do we got? Thrive? Tell us about Thrive.
All right, let me tell you guys about Thrive. Hey, I love Thrive. Let's get Steve. Hey, Steve's going to have, actually, no, Chris Illich.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Chris
Steve,
Illich
don't
is going to
need
be
to
up
drive.
late trying to figure out who the next GM is of the Red Wings. Most people right now, they think energy just comes in a 16-ounce can full of sugar and neon-colored liquid. But you know better. Upgrade your game to the Thrive Energy pouches. It's a tobacco-free, nicotine-free mental powerhouse packing 300 milligrams of smart caffeine, including alpha GPC and L-theanine. You get no jitters, no sugar crash, no bloating, none of that stuff. And you see on the screen there, you can get 15% off your entire order at dipstop.com if you use promo code WSN. And also you can find them at all Market Fresh and Market Square locations. It's Thrive. They just effing work.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive Energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that. Don't just survive. Thrive.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in? Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Big shout out to Loom Cannabis, bro. And listen, if y'all trying to find a drink for the summer that'll get you high, but also give you a little energy to go out and have some fun, Loom has got you covered with the new Buzzin' Energy drinks. The same THC buzz that you love, 7.5 milligrams of that, paired with 100 milligrams of caffeine from green tea extract. But it's not the fake shit. It is real fruit, bold in flavor, light in calories, and built for long summer days and nights. Try the new flavors, peach and raspberry lemonade, and you can get this at all 40 of their locations across the state of Michigan. And they also still have the code 30% off your entire order by using code WSN30. So get yours at loom.com today.
By the way, Little Red Wings update. What's going on? Another
update.
Well, not with this, but side thing I just saw. So Patrick Kane's future is currently deciding between Buffalo and Chicago.
Yeah, Chris Chelios actually reported that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Shout out Chelios.
I have a thought process just real quick about all this Red Wing stuff. Ryan that came on the show, he had mentioned that Steve Yzerman this whole time was already considering kind of stepping back, not just with the Red Wings, but as a whole in his career. I know we talked to Sean, and Sean says he thinks that Yzerman's going to go to a GM spot. I'm interested to see what that entails. Like, I wonder if Yzerman is getting to that point. I know he's like 60-something. It's not like the oldest, but he has had a long career in hockey to where Ryan said that there's been rumors and people speaking, some sources that he's heard, that Yzerman wanted to take a step back in his career anyways.
Yeah.
So I wonder, obviously, that this was probably always going to happen, but I wonder if there's a sense of Yzerman's really not going to go get another GM job. He's going to stay here in Detroit. He probably wants to settle down here in Detroit, I'm sure, the rest of his life. So I wonder if in his mind he's kind of looking at it as a sense of, you know what, my GM career is over. I'll just be, I'll help out with the organization and I'll retire and I'll just sit here. And obviously his day-to-day duties are probably going to be completely different. And he's, 61, 62. He could just kind of relax in the summertime, go down to Florida or wherever he goes to golf, enjoy the time, and come back in the winter, watch Wings hockey's games and help them out with what he can. And I feel like that's for him.
Yeah.
He's been in this game so long. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, Ryan said that that's been rumors for like a year now.
And these last 6 years probably stressed him the hell out.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know about doing this
These
anymore.
last 6 years been tough, boys.
Too much for me.
Yeah, it could be the case. Honestly, I'm curious because I think Sean's biggest point is just as great of a player as he was, like being as great as he was, like comes with an ego. Like to end your career as an executive like this, I'm curious if that's
in the town that you made your name
in the town that he made his name. I'm curious if he's okay with walking away and that being how it ends. Like Sean Belizian, our own here at Woodward Sports, tweeted out the Yzerman thing had to happen. Period. If you were still holding on to hope that the Yzer plan was going to work, it was based on what he meant to this town as a player, not his body of work as a general manager. It wasn't working. No signs that it was close to working. I wanted it to work so bad.
Everybody did.
Everybody did. I think that's where
It would have been storybook.
It would have been sick.
It would have been storybook. It would have been perfect.
And honestly, though, it's one of the more disappointing things ever in Detroit sports. The fact that he took over as GM, we all expected this to happen, and then boom, it
especially
failed.
with the prior success. Like, take away his history as a Red Wing.
Right.
It's like what he came as a GM, what he was coming from to now Hockey Town, which with that comes like, oh my God, we're going to be back.
Right. And you got to be real about what he started with. I know Neil always points that out, but he came into a situation in which the books were a fucking mess. You had a lot of bad contracts on this team. So he had his work cut out from the minute he touched down, and he was able to clear up a lot of that. But just it didn't work out with the draft picks, and Sean always points it out. When you get 20-some-odd first-round picks in your tenure and you don't really hit on that many of those first-round picks, eventually that's going to come back on you, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah, I mean, you had $1 billion.
Yeah,
lottery
a
picks,
lot,
dude.
bro.
$1 billion. And you weren't able to put this together in 10 years.
It's crazy, yeah.
It's not like we're talking about like 4 or 5 years. Rebuild happened. They've flamed out. It's 10 years.
Well,
dude.
what we heard during the whole tenure was, hockey rebuilds take a long time.
Yeah, we kept
Because
hearing it.
I remember, hockey rebuilds take at least 5 years and stuff like that. But once we start getting into year 6 and damn near year 7 that was coming up.
What's crazy?
It's like, come on. Like, you know, what does it take?
Yeah, in Detroit, we had no clue hockey rebuilds. At least me, I'm younger. So for me, my whole life, they were just good. So I've never had to actually endure a real Red Wings like full rebuild until the last 10 years. So when I kept hearing, hey, hockey rebuilds do take a long time. Okay. And year 6. All right, cool. I kept hearing year 7.
It's not just a hockey brain.
Right.
It's not just a hockey rebuild. It's not just we're rebuilding a franchise in the NHL. It was this rebuild.
Yeah.
That you know. At some point, you're like, all right, dude, you're rebuilding a rebuild at this point. And it's just how it is. I see this, Doss Samp in the chat. Larkin took the easy way out, ? Right. Knowing the ridicule and the history of this organization, ? God, why are you employed? Something had to give. Lark saved this franchise from the bottomless pit.
Save them?
Well, he also had, the Red Wings were in a position this year, and he also had 0. I had to look at the notes. 0. I'll double check. 0.
I can call a deal.
Even strength points
to
through
clarify.
The month of March. Yeah,
I'm sure he would love to do that.
It's again, I understand that. There's definitely blame to go around, but you can't say Larkin was absolved or is absolved from blame.
No, but what to me it always comes back to, and it's funny, the Larkin haters are the ones that tell you Larkin was never good enough to be a 1C in the first place. Well, if that's the case, why would you be more mad at Stevie that put him in that position?
Yeah,
and don't give me the take the money shit. Everybody would have took the money. So don't give me that.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard. It's like, well, and I like to plant my flag and I'll have my take, and a lot of people end up going against some of what I say. But this is one of those situations I think you could be like, you know what? I get both sides. I do.
Honestly.
I get Larkin's side, and I understand the people going at Larkin.
That's why, though, like with the Larkin stuff, it does feel like that's why I went around the room and said, hey, who was tired of the Yzer plan? It's like it feels like that was just with Larkin. Like, and to be fair, like a step further with Larkin, we all weren't in the building every day with Steve Yzerman.
No.
So, like, the fact that we all are frustrated at the Yzer plan and we don't get to see Yzerman every day, Dylan Larkin's in that building every day, guys. Like, for years. And they were butting heads. So for him to, like, I get it a little bit on his end of being like, hey, I'm out on the Yzer plan too.
Yeah.
I'm with the fan base. I'm with most of the fan base. So that's why, I don't think Dylan Larkin is correct, right, as the captain. I get where Justin was saying and all that. But at the same time, I see his side of things where it's like, hey, this thing's taking so long, dude.
Yeah.
Like, at what point? And, yeah, he's part of it, though, too.
Yeah, nah, for real. But multiple coaches and just like, 12 years in a place, you get tired. That's why I compared it to the Stafford thing. And I know it's not apples to apples, but there's a lot of similarities there. You there so long and you're going through multiple rebuilds. Eventually, you're going to get tired, bro, no matter who you are.
Terry in the chat, he says, thanks to Steve Yzerman for turning me into a hardcore Pistons fan.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Shout out.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
It's not a bad thing.
It's
no,
not.
It's
Shout out to Pistons, bro.
No, I don't know if that was maybe condescending. I don't know how he was trying to say. I think it's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's good.
Mike G asked, were they butting heads or just not talking? I think that's both the same thing.
It's the same
in that
thing.
industry, I think it's the same thing. If you're butting heads, you're probably not talking.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was a two-way street on that.
Your GM and star player should have a line of communication.
You're not even
Like,
just
come
your
on.
star player, your captain.
You're right.
Of the
like,
Detroit Red Wings.
Come on.
And your all-time great captain. Like the captain of the current Wings and your all-time great captain, they weren't seeing eye to eye, basically.
Yeah.
Or they were butting heads. Like, that's not good.
Or not talking. Either way you put it, it's not
tough.
good. Yeah.
Let's see. There's another comment I wanted to get in here and read too. Oh, here we go. Even crazier clown. Yeah, shout out to you. He says, I'm not going to tolerate a Tigers rebuild anymore. The Tigers are going to be in the playoffs.
Well, let me tell you, buddy. Strap in.
Yeah.
I think you're on the way.
Fair? Is that fair, Caleb?
Yeah, it's fair. I mean,
it's more than fair.
Oh, what KG's saying or what?
No, what
saying?
the Crazy Clown was saying. He's sick of a rebuild. They're going to the playoffs.
Well, I
Come
mean,
on.
like,
get bounced. Yeah.
No,
sure.
honestly, what's probably going to happen is we're going to miss the playoffs and we're not going to rebuild, and then we're going to run it back because they're going to go, well, remember how good we were in June and July? We're just going to that's the team we're going to have this year.
You're going to be stuck
It's the same thing every year.
Every
it's
year,
a frickin',
bro.
What are those called at the fair? Ferris wheel. That's what it is. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. It's, do you remember how good we were here, or we're just going to keep the same team because, I mean, look at us when we're fully healthy, blah, blah. It's the same shit every year.
Different day, man.
It's the same stuff.
Hey, by the way, so the Red Wings, when they tweeted that out, it's like, honestly, what they put out, it was just like a picture, a red picture with white font. It kind of looked like it was just made on, like, clip art. That's what it kind of looked like. And it just says Detroit Red Wings announced leadership transition. Someone quote tweeted it. I'll give him credit. Aaron here quote tweeted it. And he photoshopped the Detroit Tigers. I said the Detroit Tigers announced leadership transition. It said, Scott Harris, you were on the clock, buddy.
Yeah. Real shit, man.
Oh, yeah, man. That's it. I would not be. Just give it some time here.
How funny is it, though? Like, the two worst franchises right now in your city has the same owner.
Yeah.
And it's been like that now for years.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been no drastic changes. Oh, this is the first one? Sick.
Well, it's I mean, there's
tough, bro.
This Who Farted one. This is a great comment, by the way. The Yzer plan seems to be build a solid foundation, then walk and let someone else win cups. Yzerman didn't win in Tampa. He just laid that foundation. He did.
To be fair, the Yzer plan's not dead. He's still there.
Yeah.
He's advising the Yzer plan now.
Whatever that means.
Yeah.
He's not going to be making
Yzer
the
plan
decisions.
consultant. Yeah. That's what
once you take the decision making out of someone's hands, I don't care. The advisory role. What does that mean?
Yeah. Hey, Stevie, what do you think of this?
Right.
I like it.
Okay,
All right,
cool. Right. Like,
appreciate you.
Yeah, cool. We're gonna do this anyway, but yeah, cool. Like,
yeah.
That's why I think it's even more important that they go external with their GM because you're bringing someone in that has an outside perspective on what the Wings can be, and them like if they went someone internally, that's just someone getting a promotion. Yeah, no one's gonna say no to a promotion, but if you're bringing an external GM or here, like if you get an assistant GM, like Ryan brought up, like from other teams on winning teams, that means they, number one, want to be here so they see something in this team. And number two, it's you're getting an external, or I guess an outside perspective on what direction this team should go in. So if they just bring a guy in that's already in the organization, it's a Stevie puppet. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Like I guess we don't exactly know like how much hands-on work Stevie Y is going to do, but come on, if you bring someone in internally, if they hire someone from within, you know what it is.
It's kind of a cool job, though. I'm with Hoof Hearted. He says, I mean, if I can get paid a few $1 million to consult, take time off,
Dude,
I'm all about it.
Yeah,
It's awesome. Cool.
Like Booner was saying, go play golf in the summer, go watch the Wings during the winter.
That's like when Monty got fired. Like, I'm okay, cool.
I'll take 40.
You remember Monty was coaching like high school basketball the next year,
Yeah.
and he was getting paid millions.
Millions, bro. Like,
I don't know if you guys remember, but Booner, you just brought it up. He was coaching high school basketball, and his team was awful.
They were bad. They were like losing by like 40.
He don't care.
It was so bad.
It's like that.
I'm winning at the bank.
Yeah. It's like that. You know that George Bush clip where he's like, "Now watch me hit this drive."
Yep.
That's gonna be like Stevie. Like,
Now
he gets a
watch
call.
this
What do you think of this?
If I had to
watch
put
me
a
hit this drive.
If I had to put a bet on, I would bet that Steve Yzerman stays in this role moving forward for like years. And like I'm against him getting a GM job. I don't think he wants to do it. From what Ryan said there, I really truly believe that he was like already probably feeling like this is too much for me, man. I need to take a step back and enjoy. Because also, you know what you see too, like other all-time greats. Are they out there being GMs and working this hard? What's Wayne Gretzky doing?
He's on TV.
I'm just at,
yeah, no, not a. But
what are some of these all-time greats doing? They're like just enjoying life. They go on TV here and there.
Yeah.
They're sitting there. They're golfing. You got the Spit and Chicklets podcast that go out there and do golf videos, and they do it with greats. Yzerman's probably like, dude, I just want to enjoy life a little bit. Like, let me get a senior role. Give me some extra time in my day. I'm going to go golf. I'm going to go out on the boat. Let me go have some fun for once.
Maybe.
Obviously, different circumstance because it's, Yzerman is a Detroit legend and he was the GM. But, like, you could even look at, like, Dwayne Casey. He had, like, a soft firing. And I think all of us were just like, oh, yeah, this guy's in this role right now. Like, he's not going to be there for a year. Dwayne Casey's still there.
Still there.
Still kicking it. So maybe it's going to be the same for
All for
Yzerman.
coach of the year. And he got fired. And they...
And I know he's happy. He's happy.
Yeah, and I think they love him there.
I think when you just get to a certain point, it's now if Steve Yzerman was a great GM and he wasn't like an all-time great player and like his life was a GM, like his life's work was to be a GM, then I would have that. But I mean, dude, he's won how many Stanley Cups here in Detroit? Yeah. He was down in Tampa and was the GM for a while. He, like in my opinion, like in his mind, it's like the time's kind of done. Like he's like, all right, I had my chance.
Kyle Swede in the chat, Gretzky tried coaching, Booner.
Yeah, but then what is he doing now?
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? He tried it. He's not it. All right, I'm going to go on TV. I'm going to go relax. Yeah. I'm going to enjoy life. I'm going to go around to all these NHL things.
It's the same thing. You've ever noticed in the NFL? I know it's different, but it's something I've always noticed in the NFL with coaches. Usually all-time great quarterbacks don't coach. It's just how, like, you notice Kevin O'Connell, back up.
Yeah.
Even Mike Kafka, at one point back up. Kellen Moore, back up.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys that they don't end up being, they're not great quarterbacks, but they end up being great coaches. It's like that because look at like Drew Brees, like dude, a lot of those guys, it's like they only know one way how to do things. It's hard to communicate that to pros. Like it's hard to have that vision. From a GM perspective, it's different because you're building a foundation, you're building a franchise, but there's still that player ego in you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
like Brad Holmes. Say what you want. Like he's a good GM. Dude, it's like he worked in PR. He started. He played college football, but he didn't play in the NFL. Like Les Snead, all these guys. John Lynch. Obviously, we know what John Lynch is, but it's not always the case.
No, but majority, like Ada is put in the chat. Good example. Chris Spielman, specialist to Sheila. Like, maybe that's the better role. Like, is Chris Spielman GM? I mean, he probably could be if he wanted to. How would he do? No one knows. But if Chris Spielman was a GM and didn't do well, guess what he would do? He wouldn't be like, I'm going to go get a GM somewhere, be a GM somewhere else. Like, kind of failed at that. I'm going to go be a special assistant.
It all depends on your aspirations because his brother is very successful
office
guy, but that just wasn't the role for him. So it just all depends on what you want because some of them guys, they do still have that itch. And in Stevie Y's case, you wonder if he does still have that itch of, I want to go out there and be great. I can't play anymore, but I want to be great in an executive role. He had built a reputation up until the point he got here. So, yeah, you never know.
You want to take a break? We'll do mailbag.
Start dropping some mailbag.
Drop the mailbag questions, guys. Anything about anything. We'll answer it. We'll talk about it. So get those mailbag questions fired away. We'll double up on the way coming back. So what do we got here?
Amnesia.
KG.
Shout out Amnesia, man. And I'm still puffing on the Amnesia they sent to the studio, man. Shout out to them. And if you're trying to get in on some of their new products, they are launching the Switch and the one I couldn't get. But a 2-gram dual chamber disposable featuring liquid diamonds with 2 chambers and 2 different flavor profiles. You can enjoy the left, you can enjoy the right, or come together and have one harmonious high all at the same time, man. But discover your new favorite with the Switch by Amnesia. We'll be right back.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Parisian wake you up every Monday through Friday on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. That's right, Big D Energy has moved to mornings. Get your morning dose of Neil's tone and Sean's insanity. Weekdays 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Two Detroit sports legends coming together for the best Detroit sports morning show there is. Big D Energy, waking you up weekdays on Detroit's #1 sports network.
Shout out to Gold Crown and the lovely reps were up here yesterday. They blessed your boy with a new case of the Royal Junior Jesters, but they also want to tell you about the Royal Jesters. And please, some of the reps, bring them up there next time. But the Royal Jesters, 1.5 grams each, and they are quad infused, which means keep coated, live resin infused, THCA, diamonds, and terpenes, all packed into one big, beautiful, luxurious joint, man. Michigan made, top tier, no shortcuts. Next time you hit the dispo, don't think, just ask for the Royal Jesters or the Royal Juniors if you on the lighter side of things. But because if you're gonna smoke, you should smoke like royalty.
Chair House. If you're looking to take your relaxation to the next level, then Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills is the place to be. Experience the difference with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc and creator of the #1 YouTube channel for massage chair reviews at the Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at massagechairhouse.com or scan the QR code on your screen. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. I want to get to mailbag. There's already people asking about the lettuce I ate yesterday.
How you feeling?
On my sandwich.
I forgot about
Zach
that.
Soap mailbag. Hey, Jeff, how was that lettuce? Has it kicked in? Danny G mailbag. Jeff, doo-doo lettuce update.
We good?
I will do. This is the Chris Illich press conference we're talking about. I'll hold my press conference for the lettuce. Give me the solo cam, Caleb. I'll talk to the people here. So I enjoyed my sandwich yesterday. Had lettuce on it. It was the prepackaged lettuce. I can say with certainty, I'm okay.
There we go.
I'm okay.
Congratulations, man.
And do I regret it? Hell no. I don't. That lettuce was.
Are you running it back today?
No.
Okay.
I have
Jeff Iafredi, KG Woodward Sports here.
How you doing,
did you have any side effects from the lettuce yesterday? Any at all?
I'll say this. KG. My lady was not happy with some other factors that occurred from that lettuce. But it was not.
What does that mean?
It was.
What does that mean?
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But if you get what if you pick it up what I'm putting down. But
I am not.
The poop vid did not get your boy.
The poop vid.
Jeff Iafredi, Caleb, also from Woodward Sports.
Good to see you
Just
again.
a quick question. Before I went to bed last night, I did have some fruit. That would be watermelon and grapes. And I woke up with some would call it a bellyache. Can you explain that, please?
Well, I'm not. I mean, now I'm. Who's Fauci? I mean, what are you asking? I mean, you're asking me like I'm Fauci. I don't know. I mean, was it similar to what you endured from the Taco Bell?
No, not as bad.
Okay, well then we have the answer.
There you go.
Man, nothing's safe right now, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I had to address that. Mitten Maid, mailbag. Can we get the Illich family to sell the Red Wings and Tigers?
We're trying. We're working.
luck
We're
with
setting
that.
up
A campaign.
a campaign. We're going to be out at
Get a
the
GoFundMe.
Little Caesars Pizza organization, whatever it's called downtown. We're gonna do this thing.
headquarters.
We might do this thing right. We actually might. Just ask for a playoff appearance.
Yeah.
Like, we're not asking for much.
By the way, people
we're asking for more. We're asking for a championship.
We want a championship, yes, but like for the Wings, it's like, dude, you just like, could we just get in the playoffs? Like, that'd be cool.
By the way, people are saying it takes a week for this parasite to kick in.
That's
That's not good.
So you're
You
not out
just
the
don't
woods.
know.
You're not out the woods
You
yet.
could just keep eating lettuce thinking, oh, I'm good to go. And really, you're just giving yourself more and more parasites.
Oh, dude.
Jeez, bro.
Steve Lehman, mailbag. Given that only 6 of the 120 teams that have made the last 60 Super Bowls have a top 5 offense and 20 below defense, where do we start blaming the defense for the reason we're not making a Super Bowl right now, Steve?
We've been blaming the defense. I think it's other people.
I've been yelling from the mountaintops for years about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's just coaching. I think it's the investment in
No doubt.
some of the players you have made.
It's overall defense, top down.
Yeah.
And that's what it is at the end of the day. And there are people who like I mean, I'm not going to name names, but people who just sit there and they'll take the easy way out and blame the offense and Jared Goff. If you want to continue to do that. You'll always be just content with being average in your life. That's what it is.
By the way,
Those fans, that's all it is.
This is for you, KG. Mike G. Mailsack KG. Now that the Red Wings have Keegan Kolesar, will more brothers show up to LCA to watch the game?
Mike G, I cannot guarantee that. I think it would take the team being 60% black in order to get a more black audience down to LCA. But black people do enjoy hockey games. I went with Justin last year. Had a great time. So shout out.
I like how Mike's like, KG, you're the spokesman.
Yeah, I know.
That
Mike G, bro, is consistent,
Mike G,
bro.
man.
That's
He's
my
man.
guy. I love him, man.
He's a goat.
That's
he
my
really
guy.
is. Kyle, mailbag. If 7 years is too long without winning a cup, how many years do we give a new GM? That's a great question.
Well, I mean, if I'm being honest, from what I don't have experience fully in NHL rebuilds. As of now, like in my mind, it's like give him 10 years.
I mean, this is
20 years.
This is a better
data.
This is a better situation than what Yzerman walked into.
Yes.
Like there are pieces here. I don't know how much more they have to go to really get to a contending level, but I'm sure coming in, it won't be nearly as bad as what Yzerman had to deal with some of the bad contracts he had to unload as soon as he got here.
I am interested to see the level of rebuild.
Yeah.
Because you could say full clean house. Obviously, Mo is probably staying. You have a couple.
Yeah.
But like you could also, like what Ryan was saying, there is good pieces on this roster.
Yeah, it's not
You
horrible.
could do like a half rebuild and still kind of try and make a push next year for the play. I don't know if people would want that though.
How long does Stevie have? 6? Is it 6 years total?
I can look it up.
I think it was more.
Because the next GM, I mean, Stevie had 6. You would think the pressure would be on to get it done sooner than that.
He got hired in
2018 or 20.
I was in high school when he got hired, I think. So.
Oh no, it was before. Like,
yeah, he's pushing up on a decade.
He was hired in 2019.
Okay.
So
April of
6
2019.
7 years.
Yeah.
Getting close.
Probably almost 8 years. 7 to 8 years.
A new GM would probably.
We're climbing towards a decade.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think a new GM would have more than 5 years before the heat gets turned up. So
that's fair.
I think it'd be like 3 years. Like where are you at in 3? Because again, you have the pieces.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not nearly as bad as before.
Dante Mailsack, can we get Putin as the next Red Wings GM?
Okay. All right. Well, see you later.
He said because I think he would make a killing in free agency.
Oh, he'd make a killing, all right.
Come on, man. I'm rattled.
I'm rattled.
I'm rattled. It doesn't happen
I
often.
can't lie.
I am rattled. Zach Soap, mailbag. What makes you guys feel happy and content in a day when you have nothing to do? That's we get philosophical.
What's that mean? Like, what do you mean, like an off day? Like,
Yeah,
what do we like to do?
you ain't got nothing on the docket. You just a chill day.
Honestly, just that. Like, I don't have anything.
Oh man,
you know what I mean? Like,
I'm in the crib. I'm in my drawers. I got my favorite. I got my favorite Uber Eats on deck. I got my PlayStation. My wife busy. She ain't bothering
what's
me.
What's the go-to Uber Eats order though? Like you're sitting there chilling. What's the first thing?
I'm fat, Jeff. That's tough, bro. Definitely a burger of some sort because I love good gourmet burgers or smash burgers from somewhere. Oh man. A good smash burger, some weed, some PlayStation. That's a good day.
I would be remiss if I didn't address this too. Like, I just want to say big shout out to Neil and Bomber for yesterday's win on the golf course, man. I did pay Neil his dues. I did send the money.
I have not sent the money to Bomber yet.
It's well, you're dealing with someone a little different.
Yeah.
Than me. I had to send him the.
Neil was on your ass.
Bomber, you can send him.
I'm still considering this.
You go protest the win?
Maybe I'll go buy him lunch or something. You know.
We battled. We played our best round. It's just we made some mistakes down the stretch. We led for technically, and I might pull this actually. If we played 9, we won.
We after 9, which
we played a couple extra holes and we lost.
When we play, it's typically through like it's a 9-hole match. We were up 1 after 9. Like we were up. We were winning after 9.
And
Neil,
the sundown, bro.
Yeah, we were done. Yeah, and then Neil was like, "You guys want to go one more? You guys want to keep playing? You guys want to keep playing?"
Neil knew,
he was never going to go after 9.
Neil wasn't going to accept a loss.
No,
he would have played at midnight.
We got about 3 holes into the next 9. And it started getting darker, and it was tied the whole time. They ended up coming back after like 1 or 2, and it was tied for like 3 or 4 holes. It started getting darker, and as soon as they went up 1, Neil was like, took his hat. I was like, all right, guys, that was fun. And me and Jeff looked at each other. Jeff and I looked at each other. We went, whoa, no, put your hat back on. as soon as you take the lead, you want to now. So we were like, we're playing another hole. Like this isn't
and
over.
You know what Neil was doing? I didn't say this, but yesterday, like I'll tell you, I got this little.
He was
insight
scheming.
on Neil. Neil was pulling some which I respect. He wants.
Oh,
to
he
win.
was walking in Jeff's line.
Walking in the line,
without saying
Caleb,
anything.
Caleb
like
stepped. Like I saw heavy step in the line.
Yeah,
and kept
really?
I mean,
like it's like
crazy.
it's like.
And I heard him too when Jeff was about to putt. He was like, "Oh, that looks like it's a little left to right," when it was right to left. He said it out loud to get in Jeff's head. I think you have to in golf. You have to have a respect game.
That's
you can't
Bush
do
League.
that stuff.
It's Bush League.
Yeah, you can't do that
Bush
stuff.
League.
Bush League.
and realistically, what people don't realize is like, Neil's actually a golfer. Like I think people might just think like, he just goes out there, he likes having fun. Neil in high school golfed. He could have golfed in college. He is a really good golfer. Yeah, he shot one over on the day. Like he's a very good golfer. So people to be like, oh, you guys can't beat him. He's good. Like it's not like we're out there playing like I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but like just like a 10 handy. This guy is good. Like, you could argue he's almost a scratch golfer. Like he is that good. So like it feels like we're playing a pro out there. At the end of the day.
It's like Randy Marsh.
Compliment to him.
I didn't hear no bell, man.
Right,
we're getting
right.
beat up. We're gonna go back out there and get after.
Bomber's good too, and I already came through, and then he struggled all game. Then came through at the end.
And to be fair, I said this off. What people don't realize, like we had Neil in a blender. He could come on the show.
He admitted it.
He could come on the show at any point and be like, "Oh, I dominated."
He was good today.
We put him in a blender after like the 6th, 7th hole, and then they were never going to come back. We were going to win that thing if it wasn't for Bomber.
Yeah.
Bomber was the only reason that they won that thing and came back because he made a putt to tie it, and he made a putt for them to go up one and win it at the end. And then at the very end, when we had a chance to actually win it, he made like a 15-footer to end the whole thing.
Damn.
So Bomber at the last 2 or 3 holes was the one that really came through for them.
Yeah.
Shout out B2.
Neil locked in. I see Neil locking. Maybe with us, we haven't really pushed him well enough, but this time Neil went quiet.
He was like
y'all getting better.
He
bro.
stopped getting in the cart. He started walking the course. He was not happy.
I knew for him to come on air and admit he was frustrated by y'all, I thought that was big. I'm like, they really got to him. Like,
I wish we recorded him just a couple of his walks because he was like going at Bomber, saying stuff to Bomber.
Pick it up, Bomber.
He was on Bomber's ass. He was.
He was like, "Don't worry, I got this whole thing, Bomber. I got this. Don't worry."
That's so Neil, bro.
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome, man. Great show today, by the way. Awesome show. We appreciate you guys. Even on a big Red Wings day, you guys tune in and stay faithful to us. So and show loyal support, which we appreciate. Hit the like button on the stream before you go. And check out Braylon Answer 2 to 4, heavyweights 5 to 7. We'll be back tomorrow for a Thursday show. A lot of Lions.
Shout out Ryan as well for joining
and
the show.
shout out Ryan, Winged Wheel Pod. Shout out Woodward Wings. Go check out them as well. Crunch Time Sports. Go check out that as well. Jedi Freddy, Booner, KG, Caleb Zarnick. Peace.
The next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.